Good evening, everybody, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport here for the season finale of the Pro Championship. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, joined in the box once again by my good friend. Excuse me, still got to get rid of this cough. Good friend Phil Raiden in the chat. Phil, it is the Pro finale. It is Dan versus Clouden. Give us your thoughts.
Oh, this is going to be Titanic, isn't it, for the finale here at Valencia at Ricardo Toromo. A bike circuit with Rossi's effigy in the background. But yeah, it's come down to this, the final championship to wrap up for season 5.
The final championship to wrap up, indeed, and it's going to be a fascinating one. 42 points separate the top two drivers in their quest for this championship glory. Dan Davis is going for his 9th. Jamal Clouden is going for his 1st. Obviously, I had that chance on Tuesday night to do it, but couldn't take that to advantage. So he's trying to tonight. Excuse me. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. So Dan Davis, like we said, 42 points clear of Jamal Clouden, but it's Jamal Clouden who's currently the quickest in the section. Whether that is quali fuel or race fuel, we are unsure. But one thing we know is Clouden is going to give it his all, and Dan Davis just kind of needs to follow him home, Phil, doesn't he?
He does. Dan doesn't need a win. Clouden can win both races, and all Dan's got to do is just be the car directly behind him to win the championship.
And an interesting grid at the minute. Another short one. We are only expecting Gary Leach on the grid to complete the lineup for tonight, which is a shame we've ended with such a short lineup at the end. But if you look at that, the top 8 covered by 0.6 of a second. That is decent pace from the top 8.
It is, isn't it? Well, these are our pro drivers, aren't they? So, we like close racing.
Yeah, we do.
Indeed. That's why we like touring cars.
Exactly. Dan Davis, though, leads the championship battle by Clouden from 42 points. As we said, Overtaker is 3rd with Harris in 4th and Echo P5. They are not here tonight, meaning that Gary Leach has a great chance to finish inside the top 4 in the championship. Richard Beasley could also do the same thing. Insert Coin as well. He's P8 after a great week last week in his Honda. It looks like he's got paces. Gary Leach is now in the session. Great week from the Honda last time out at Zolder. Mike Matthews is P9. He's going to be fighting with Sky Schundelmeyer, our GT4 champion, for that top 10 spot. Then we have Ian Gray, P11. Ben and him are going to fight for that P11 spot. Pacina not here tonight. Shame he couldn't end the season on a high. He is P13. Hoffer, P14, not here. O'Reilly can go above Hoffer tonight with a good set of results. Travis King as well, P16 from Fuchs. Then it is Stein who is here. He can look to go above the likes of Nikita, Alex and Newman, who on my screen, obviously the points count for Constructors' Championship and Manufacturers' Championships and all that lot. We haven't put them on the outright tables that get published, but Nikita, Alex and Newman still 18th, 19th and 20th. Stein can go above them. Friedman can probably go above Wesley Kuiper tonight. No Burton, no Flem Speed 1, no Joe Bates, no Saber, no Calm, no Mitchell Buchanan, no Kreuzer, no Joseph, no Clarbel. Positive news about Clarbel, though, is that he is looking like he's going to be able to race next season, but his pace very limited due to restricted movement in his arm at the moment. So, positive news in terms of hearing that we might be getting him back, but looking like it's possibly going to be a Pro-Am grid for him.
Yeah, well, bones take a while to heal, don't they? And you've then got to rebuild the strength in said limb afterwards. Because it's more than just break the bone. Your muscles kind of waste away while it's healing.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up and where he goes. Currently watching Will Friedman out there. Let's jump onto the Mustang. Kieran Argent and others did have a great night last night in the Mustang, Gomez, but O'Reilly's been on form at this circuit in GT4s. No wins, but he's looked very good in the Ginetta, and he looked really good at Zolder last week.
Yeah, he could be the he could be someone who could potentially upset the pie for the top spot, because if you're going for a race win, you want the race win, wouldn't you? If you've got the pace to do it.
Yeah. You want to be out there winning that race, like you say, not trying to fight for second. And that's the thing with these drivers, Phil, isn't it, tonight? Is we've got drivers that are out there pushing for that win, aren't they? They're going to want that win. Ben especially is going to want a podium over anything else, isn't he?
He is, and well, yeah. You're not here really to make up the numbers, even though I felt like that in GT4s on Tuesday. It was just like, yeah, I'm so far off the pace.
Oh, just reading in the Discord, O'Reilly's wheel is playing up. Hopefully, his wheel stays okay. He's going to try it in race 1 to see how it is. That's not what you want to hear. SimPlay Racing, though, your Constructors Champions from last week from Team FBR. Then it is the Greasy Bandits Racing with Quantum Apex Motorsport P4, Jaeger Motorsport P5 with GK in 6th, Effect Motorsport 7th, BSP Racing 8th, Volta Racing 9th, Effect Motorsport 2 in 10th, and FSO Racing Team down in that 11th spot. Obviously, McLaren won the manufacturers quite a while ago. And it's been an interesting night, hasn't it? We've also got more milestones. Ian Gray will make his 50th race appearance. Sky Schundelmeyer will make his 150th race appearance. Mike Matthews will make his 300th race appearance. BMW need a double win. Well, that won't happen. That won't happen. And Ferrari need one pole position for their 25th. So a few milestones there to look at and to negotiate and to try and get sorted. This is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's going to be. Hopefully, it's going to be a clean one as well, because we don't want to end up in the steward's office like the end of GT4 did. But I suppose we better confirm that Tibbs has won the championship in GT4s.
Yeah, me and Dan did confirm this last night. That Sky Schundelmeyer is your GT4 champion. Good evening to Dean Wasocki, Fury's granddad, Chloe Davis, Paul Williams, Hypertech, PM Sport, Chris as well in the chat. So good evening to everybody who's currently in the chat. But yeah, Sky Schundelmeyer won that GT4 championship. Managed to get the better of myself and Clouden at the end of it. Obviously, there was a bit of controversy during that second race. We're not going to dive too much into this. That you don't want to see in a non-teamed event. This is where I'm going to touch on this. There's a teamed event tonight, and Mike Matthews can massively help Dan Davis out. Not in the same manner as what happened and occurred on Tuesday evening, but in a manner of being able to just assist him.
Yeah, he could take points away from Clouden in a way by finishing ahead of Clouden in the championship battle. As hopefully over, he ain't got a actually at Gamescom, Thrustmasters announced a direct drive wheel for PS5. There's a.
Well, there we go.
So, well, with Fanatec.
Yeah, not doing
on fire right now.
Yeah, not doing very good things at the moment. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right, Dean's going to give us a shout out on his TikTok live. Well, thank you very much, Dean. Poll currently out as well for who is going to win this championship. 10 votes have gone in, and Phil, it's going the way of Dan Davis. It's hard to see the guy with 42 points advantage lose this one. What do you think? Who's going to win this title tonight?
I think it's going to be Dan. He's on the drive with his head. He's got that nice cushion of 42 points, hasn't he?
And do you think that another factor in this, because I agree with you on Dan, do you think that the lack of drivers, Clouden needed drivers, for if Dan to have a bad night, Clouden needed drivers to turn up and to help take, not help, but just be in the way? Yeah,
it is a uphill struggle going to be for Clouden, but I'm sure he's on the rise to it.
Well, the grid order looks a little like this. It is Travis King on pole from Kieran O'Reilly. Ben is P3 from Ian Gray. Sky Schundelmeyer is P5 on row 3 alongside Mike Matthews. Row 4 is Insert Coin with Richard Beasley. Row 5 is Gary Leach and Jamal Cloud on row 6. Dan Davis, Kevin Stein on row 7 at the back on his own. Will Friedman. Now, if people do want to look at why the grid has probably not worked right, unsure, because everybody's here, and Mike Matthews set the grid. So if you're in the Discord, speak with Mike.
It could have been, if the server had to be reset again before we...
This is the problem, isn't it? I'm just going to double check and make sure that Mike didn't make a boo-boo. You leave, you know what I mean? You have a meeting one night, you step away one night, and Mike just... That's put Dan in a tricky situation, though, Phil, because now he's got 2 cars behind him.
He has. He's got Stein and Friedman, and well, and he's. It's going to be interesting as I'm getting still a bit waylaid here, and David Addison, who commentates on the real GT World Challenge and British Stormcast in real life.
No,
So
looking here, Kevin Stein is down as second place, and Will Friedman is down as first. So I'm not sure what has happened there. So Mike Matthews, you are safe.
I think there's something having to reset the server again.
I'd agree with you. Chris has had a word with Ben. He says in the chat. If you don't know what happened last week, may have tapped the back of Dan. Ben got a 10-second time penalty for that one. In fact, no, maybe 50. No, it was 10 seconds because it was first lap, but he waited such a long time. So, yeah. Phil, race 1, 13 drivers. Who is your money on?
I think for race 1, O'Reilly, if his wheels work properly. I don't know what make of wheel he has. It's over Logitech Crossmaster. It won't be Moser, will it?
I doubt it. You need an adapter, don't you?
So it's either Logitech Crossmaster or Fanatec.
Yeah. Don't forget though, while you are here in the channel tonight, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We are 3 subscribers away from the 750 mark, which will be a milestone for us, which would have hit 2 milestones this season as we look to approach 1,000 subscribers. And I tell you what, at the current rate we've gone, there is no reason we can't do this by the end of 2025. Not this year. I'd love to say this year, but I don't think that's going to be possible, as Mike nearly loses it on the formation lap. Funny, I might put a thing in Discord this week about, comment or react if you've ever span on the formation lap, and he's just nearly dropped it.
I can say I've never done that. I'm not fast enough in the race conditions, let alone on the formation lap.
I would love to say I've never done it.
Yeah, I know you've done it. I've seen you doing it on your stream.
Yeah. Donington Park in a previous league.
Yeah,
sadly.
And it was hilarious.
Won the race though, won the 2 hours race.
They should be about to go double file. About now-ish. So, King with a nice clear road ahead of him, it'll be, from Kieran O'Reilly. And then Ben.
And this is going to be huge as well, can we just say. This is going to be huge for O'Reilly and King to get a good start, get into that lead. And Ben's got probably his best chance of the season to get that podium.
He has, well, we only have 13 cars here tonight, but let's hope these guys put on a great show for you lot watching at home, or on your phone at work, or whatever you're doing.
So it's round 23 of the season. It is the penultimate race of this championship for Season 5 ACC. As Dan bids to become a 9-time champion, Jamal bids to become a 1-time champion. It's green and go here, and Ben already gets a good start. Tries to pull out in the background of the Mustang, but it's Travis King who's side by side with O'Reilly down in towards turn 1. We know the outside line can be the better line. And there, look, O'Reilly swoops around the outside, and through he goes into the lead of this race. And Travis King can do nothing but sit in the background and watch as King, who's off, sorry.
Gary's off. I believe Cloudon's got rear end damage as well. Let me just.
Ian Gray is also off the track. He's got front and rear end damage, and he's the one who's caused the yellow flag.
Yeah, and Friedman's got damage on his car. So that wasn't a clean turn 1. Oh.
No, little messy going into turn 2, exit to turn 1, but it is O'Reilly from King, from Ben, from Schundelmeyer, from Mike, from Richard Beasley, then it is Insert Coin, then it is Stein. Clouden stayed ahead of Dan, and he now needs cars in between him and Dan. Stein goes a little deep. This is going to allow to give Clouden the run. And Will Friedman on the back of Dan. Gary trying to stick to the back of them as well as they come down towards the hairpin. Camera angles aren't great around this circuit. And Dan now goes up the inside of Clouden. He manages to follow the gap that Stein had created. And Dan Davis up the inside of Clouden. They're side by side coming up to the little chicane. Clouden trying to hang it around the outside. Drops the wheels in the gravel. And through goes Friedman. And that is not what you need in this championship race. As the bright green and yellow car spins across our screen. And Ian Gray will pick up a place. Gary Leach spins around.
Yeah, as O'Reilly leads this opening lap by about a second, and now this is where the horsepower of the Mustang comes into play.
It is indeed, as Travis King now is got Ben to defend from. Sky Schundelmeyer is currently P4, Mike Matthews just behind him. Then it is Richard Beasley and Insert Coin who are tied on points going into this race tonight. Then it is Stein from Dan Davis, who's got Will Friedman behind him, and Jamal Cloudon's having a look up the inside of Will Friedman. Does he get it done on the power of the exit? No, he does not. Has to tuck back in behind, and Cloudon's now trying to look each way till Sunday to get ahead of Unorthodox, ahead of Will Friedman, and try and get onto the back of Dan Davis, who the last time he'd have won a championship would have actually... Oh no, it was last season. What? Apologies, he is the defending champion.
Yeah, that's why he has the number 1 plate.
Dan's also got damage on his rear and on his front. He's side by side with Stein further forward, and Dan Davis goes up the inside at the hairpin. Stein's going to try and fight this round the outside. It's not going to work. Dan goes a little deep. Cloudon taps Stein. Cloudon's in the grass.
Yeah, and Friedman nearly got involved in that as well. And this is not how. This is looking messy.
You know what that reminds me of, Phil? Desperation. That looked a bit like from Cloudon there. He knew he had to do something and just lunges into the back of Stein there. Dan went deep. Cloudon could have just braked early and tucked underneath, but Dan went deep, and Dan's come out of that, you know, well ahead of Will Friedman now, who has to avoid action. But Cloudon even more damage to his car, and he's just struggling. Is O'Reilly into the pits, as is Mike Matthews. We saw last night how powerful the undercut was, and this is what you need. But Ben still on the back of Travis King, sets the fastest lap of the race. Sky Schundelmeyer, Richard Beasley, then it's Insert Coin, Dan Davis, Will Friedman. Jamal Cloudon would have probably been better off bringing that into the pits and getting going again, but Gary Leach into the pits. Stein at the back in P12.
Yeah, hit a couple of first laps, and Pro-Am was reasonably clean, and then of course Pro-Am was clean. Of course Pro-Am's gonna be very Pro-Am.
Through into the middle set they come now. It's Ben who's got Sky Schundelmeyer right on the rear wing of him. Just a couple of tenths between them. 3 McLarens lead this race, but it is O'Reilly who opted to pit first, don't forget. And
he's dropped.
This is going to be an interesting one, because undercut was very strong around here last night, and O'Reilly had a decent gap over Travis King at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, Mike's just been dropped as
Sky's
well.
wide. Richard Beasley's gone up the inside. So Richard Beasley's got past Sky. Sky Schundelmeyer wide at the hairpin, just dropped a wheel in the gravel, it looked like. It kicked up a bit of dirt, and he's lost out to Richard Beasley then as the McLaren. He's all over the back of Beasley now at the moment, and Richard Beasley just holds that defensive line, forces Sky to the outside and comes back across to take the racing line into the corner. Anybody going to dive into the pit lane? Got to watch for the track limits running over the cliffs. Sky Schundelmeyer straight into the pits. Not surprised they'll lose a place, get in the pits. Dan Davis I'd expect to have seen in early, but hasn't come in. And neither is Jamal Cloudon or Will Friedman. What about Ian Gray? He stays on his way. And Kevin Stein, is he going to pit? That's going to be the big question. No, he does not. But O'Reilly then, PN, the man who stays out on track. And this is going to be interesting to see how far in front of Sky he comes out.
It is, and I'll keep an eye on that, as we say evening to Tracy as well. Sky and BSP Sports.
In his box, evening to Tracy and to BSP in the chat.
Yes, Sky's got quite a nice pit box over there.
He's got a nice pit box. It's just a long way down that pit lane as Sky's yet to go green, look. And who's exiting the final corner? In fact, I'll tell you what, I think Mike Matthews may have pulled a blinder here. Undercut Sky Schundelmeyer. O'Reilly is going to absolutely swallow Sky up. Sky's now off his limiter now. This is going to be very close between Mike Matthews and Sky Schundelmeyer into turn 1. Mike sees Sky, and Sky may just come out in front of Mike Matthews, who's got the momentum, and he's going to look up the inside in towards turn 2. Did he get alongside enough? Tibbs gives him the room, but Mike not far enough alongside Sky Schundelmeyer. And these two now are going to start the battle. This is the only fight really on the track at the moment. But just going to show there, the early pit stop for O'Reilly really has worked for him.
It has, hasn't it? Well, he would have. No, he wouldn't have learned that in GT4s, because we don't pit in GT4s because it's only 20-minute races. But every other race we've had a in the 20-minute where the undercut is worked.
Ben and Beasley. I don't think you can overcut in this 20-minute race. I don't think you can. We'll see, but I know the pit window's open for the same amount of time, but I don't think you can overcut enough. I don't think you've got enough time before the window to do the overcut by getting out in front and pulling time. Ben is in, Richard Beasley's in, and Stein is in. Ben's going to be interesting because Sky Shungelmeyer was on the back of Ben and is pulling away from Mike Matthews, actually.
Stein's just left the session. I can't click on him.
Okay, no problem. So that could be a retirement for Stein.
Ben's away. Beasley's away. Oh, O'Reilly's got to get... There's O'Reilly.
Oh, just. So that's close. So Travis King here may have done the best thing.
Yeah. But then again, though, Ben did set one of the fastest laps of the race beforehand. So
interesting to see that, but O'Reilly leads from Ben. Where did Richard Beasley come out? He came out ahead of Sky and Mike, so Beasley jumped the McLaren and the Ferrari.
So, interesting. Oh, another thing I've noticed, it's a lot cooler track temperature than it was for Pro-Am and GT4s.
Yeah. A lot more clouds today. Race leader in, Travis King into the pit. I'm surprised we haven't had Dan Davis in yet. Normally goes for that earlier pit stop, and I'm surprised Clouden hasn't come in early to react to Dan. Will Friedman, by the way, now the fastest man on the circuit. Where is O'Reilly, who's got Ben within 0.7 of a second?
No, coming through the chicane
bit. And Travis King is still stationary at this moment. And I think this could work in O'Reilly's favour. I really do. This is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on, Phil, as they come out the final corner now. King hasn't gone green. He goes green now. He's not a million miles away from the pit limiter, but O'Reilly's already up to speed, as is Ben. King's now off the limiter. Here comes O'Reilly. There comes Ben. And both of them get past Travis King. So Ben jumps King. O'Reilly stays in front. What about Richard Beasley? He's not close enough, but this is an interesting little three-way battle now as King is right up the rear wing of Ben. Ben in for a good position. All these the net leaders, well, we'll have to wait and see what insert coin Dan Davis, Will Friedman, Clouden and Gray do, but I think they could be, you know. I think O'Reilly is your net race leader at this moment, and has got Ben 4/10 behind him.
Yeah, it's a nice little freeway, isn't it, for the potential race lead. But it depends on the pace of Dan, Coin.
Well, Dan's not really pulling up any trees at the moment. He's 3 points off the back of Coin, and that seems to have stayed the gap for a little while now.
Yeah, and they've just gone through turn once. Gray's now in.
So Ian Gray's in. That'll be interesting in terms of Gary Leach, where Gray will come out. As King a little deep through the hairpin there. This is coming on board with O'Reilly. Who's up to Ben, so you can see the Travis King in the background. There is Richard Beasley as well. Oh, Ben clattered that sausage curve. Just had a little bit of a slide. Manages to hold on to it.
You don't want to clatter the curbs too much. Or take track limits, because they are punishing around here.
Yeah, no doubt that may be another track limit warning for Ben there. He went fully over the curve. It's going to be an interesting one to see. Mike's not got the pace of Sky at the minute, and that will put Sky above Mike in the championships if Sky can beat him both times tonight. As they all come flying past Ian Gray at this stage of the race. Gary Leach now coming to the final corner to try and get near Ian Gray.
Gray's now just gone green.
I think Travis King had a bad corner. He's dropped off the back a little bit. Gray's out the pits, well in front of Gary Leach, but Travis King just dropping off the top of the front too, Phil.
Yeah, and he's got Beasley quite close behind him as well, so be interesting to see when. Well, Coins stayed out, everyone stayed out, up to Clouden. They're still circulating.
Yeah, that surprises me. Will Friedman's got under a second of Dan. Dan's chipped away 3/10. But that's not express pace for me, and I think that if these are going for the overcut, well, this could be an interesting strategy. I don't think personally it works in race one, but let's wait and see.
We'll find out. Well, bearing in mind most of these got Coin's car's looks relatively clean from damage, but Dan's, Friedman's and Cloudon's have all got dings in them.
Yeah. Now, I don't sadly have the pit stop information to tell you because the graphic card doesn't have Valencia on it yet. Beasley is right up Travis King's trumpet, and Ben's not a million miles away off of the back of O'Reilly, but like Chris has just said in the chat, Phil, that Mustang has some torque, and that's where the Mustang's going to really work on the straights.
Yeah, Ben was over on the AstroTurf then. That might be another flagged warning. Gotta be careful with him, because that's a... Oh, Coin's pushing. He's on the curb in the chicane.
Well, he's gained 2/10 over Dan Davis. Now, he can take that curb. It is a bit easier to ride than what it looks, but Will Friedman gaining on Dan. That gap's now down to just under 0.8 of a second.
Coin stays out. Dan's in.
Yeah, I'm surprised Dan hasn't pitted earlier. Cloudon stayed. No, Cloudon follows.
Cloudon follows. Yeah, okay, he's not replied to his main championship rival.
He can't be undercut by Dan. That's just not a thing he can let happen. He's got to pit at the same time or pit before him. I'm surprised he didn't pit before him, but he pits at the same time. King still holding up that of Richard Beasley.
I'll keep an eye on O'Reilly. Dan
King's
and
gone
Cloudon
deep. King has gone very, very deep. And has that allowed Richard Beasley through? The cameraman picks him up now. Richard Beasley up the inside. He moves into 7th place at the moment. And Dan and Cloudon haven't been stationary long, and here comes Kieran O'Reilly. I think these two are going to take the net lead of this race. I don't think these two are going to be overtaken by Will Friedman or Insert Coin either. Down the start straight they come. Dan and Cloudon have the lowest grid box as well. But look, doesn't matter, because by the time they come off the limiter, these two are going to be passed. Dan now goes green. So what about Richard Beasley, who's got Travis King and near enough Sky Schundelmeyer? They'll come flying through. And then here's Mike Matthews. Best stay behind your teammate, buddy.
But Dan's got a car between him and Cloudon.
That's the most important thing. Yeah, that's the most important thing. This is now where the team game comes into this. As Next Up Card says, let's go Sky. And Peaceful Stepdad, good evening to yourself. But Jamal Cloudon there, I reckon, should have undercut. I don't think he's repaired the damage. No, he hasn't. But I think this is a fight here for this race lead, by the way, between Kieran O'Reilly and Ben.
Yeah. Friedman pushes on for one more lap. Maybe 2 minute and a half.
Potentially one more and another after. Yeah, just going to depend on the lap times. But O'Reilly, I feel like he's your net race leader. King's now coming under pressure from Sky Schundelmeyer. And Dan's not going to be bothered about passing or catching onto the back of Sky. He's more bothered about where Cloudon's going to be. And the fact that he's got Mike in between, like you said, playing rear gunner, is just going to be another bonus for him.
Yeah, Coin is stationary. He's been stationary for about 5 seconds now. This might be close.
There we go. Sky Schundelmeyer. Yeah, pushing the limits too much. Drive-through penalty for Sky Schundelmeyer. Well, that's what Mike needed.
Coin's not gone green yet.
Coin hasn't gone green. He's not really as close to pit limiter at the pit line as you'd expect as well. So through go everybody. Sky's got 2 more laps to do that drive-through. Coin goes green now. Has Dan Davis just jumped Insert Coin? That is how powerful the undercut is. Dan was 3 seconds behind Insert Coin, and Dan has got ahead of him.
Yeah, but that's another car between Cloudon and Dan.
It is another car between Cloudon and Dan, and Cloudon's going to try the outside line over that of Insert Coin. And he's still on that outside line here. If he can keep it around the outside this next bit, he'll have the inside. And he does so. And they make contact, and it's more contact Cloudon makes with another car.
Oh.
That's twice in this race.
Yeah. Friedman has to box this lap.
What are the fastest lap times? 31s.
Let me have a look. I'll go race top.
32. So yeah, he's got plenty of time to get in the pits.
Yeah.
But I still think this race is O'Reilly's. Put it this way, if Dan's just jumped Insert Coin, Dan will stay ahead of Will Friedman.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just lost my train of thought.
Jamal's just been off the track. He looked like he rejoined from somewhere. And it's just all gone wrong for Jamal tonight already in this first race, hasn't it, Phil?
Yeah, well, that's a struggle being the chasing driver in the championship. the pressure is more on you than the person leading it, unless you're turning on someone.
Sky Schundelmeyer is in the pits, and Jamal Clouden will come through, and I believe Insert Coin should. Sky's halfway down the pit lane. Here comes Insert Coin. Yeah, that'll be another position for Insert Coin. Travis King, though, within half a second of Richard Beasley, and Ben within 7/10 of O'Reilly. Will Friedman's got to pit this lap. He's coming into that final corner now.
Yeah, that's it. Friedman should dive right.
Straight
yeah,
in.
He does.
Good racing from Friedman. Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Yeah, he's a quick guy. Imagine if he did for full season.
Quick guy, very experienced. You know, with him and Eckel, you know, possibly returning next season, that could be an interesting battle to keep our eyes on. Now let's watch for O'Reilly. I don't think Friedman's done enough here. I think Friedman's going to come out around Dan. Whether he's in front or behind Dan, who knows? But that's where I think he's going to be.
Yeah, as O'Reilly's now coming to the chicane. Well, this is a bike circuit, isn't it? See, I quite like bike racing. Mostly the TT, though.
Schundelmeyer got done by Gray. That's really going to help Mike out in that top 10 fight.
It is. Here comes O'Reilly. Friedman's just on green.
Yeah, but he's nowhere near that pit limit line. So O'Reilly and Ben through. Richard Beasley and King, I think, will come through. It's going to be that of Dan Davis. Friedman's off the limiter.
He's in front of Dan.
He's jumped Dan Davis, so he's got ahead of Dan Davis. That won't bother Dan in the slightest, you know. That will not bother Dan in the slightest.
Yep, but Friedman's got the pace, so...
Not even that, though. He's ahead of Clouden. There's a car between him and Clouden. He knows that this could pretty much be game over already.
Yeah. As I said, it is harder to get them points than it is to just sit there and go, right, I know where I need to finish to win this.
Obviously, all results are provisional. And... obviously down to Steward's inquiries at the end of the day, but I don't see where Dan's put a foot wrong in this race, meaning that for me he's probably going to be crowned champion. We've got Ian Gray and Sky Schundelmeyer together on track at the moment. Sky trying to get past Ian Gray.
Yeah, as O'Reilly's now gapped Ben by 1.3 seconds. In the could the crowd go wild for the first Ford win in SimPlay?
This would be the first Ford win in SimPlay. Leader starts the final lap. It looks like Ben's going to do the job. Sky Schundelmeyer has got past Ian Gray. He's a bit too far behind Insert Coin, but 1.7 now the gap. Is Ben just taking that second place?
More than likely.
So it's O'Reilly from Ben from Beasley. Then it is Travis King. Then it's Will Friedman. Then it's Dan Davis. Then it's Mike Matthews. And then we drop back to Jamal Clouden. Then it's Insert Coin. Then Schundelmeyer, Ian Gray, and Gary Leach, who's had a bit of a mare in this first one.
It's normal first race for Gary.
Normal first race for Gary, yeah, you'd say so. You'd say so, wouldn't you?
He's working out his setup ready for race 2, right? In race 1.
He already knows what tweaks he needs to make.
Hit it with a hammer?
Probably. But either way, we're going to make history tonight. The Ford Mustang will win its first ever race here at SimPlay Motorsport in the hands of Kieran O'Reilly, who has just gone from strength to strength at the back end of this season, Phil.
Yeah, and being in GT4s as well, he's got the track knowledge in his head. Okay, the Ginetta doesn't quite have the aero compared to the Mustang.
But he rounds the final corner, and for the first time in GT3s, a Ford Mustang is going to take the top step of the podium, and it is going to be in the hands of Kieran O'Reilly. What a great drive from him. Ben comes across the line for second place. That is a fantastic result for Ben in this race tonight. Richard Beasley P3 with Travis King P4, Will Friedman P5, Dan Davis 6th, Mike Matthews 7th, Jamal Clouden is going to come across the line P8. I don't think that's enough. Insert Coin will take P9. He can be a bit disheartened with that, I reckon. Should have probably got more out of that, but that was caught up in that incident with Jamal. Another podium for Richard Beasley. Good night for him. Sky Shuttlemeyer got the drive through. He's down in 10th. As that then is your race order. Just inputting these results now as we speak. And Will Friedman, fastest lap of the race and a top 5 finish. What we can tell you is Dan Davis hasn't yet won this championship. The gap is 48 points. So Dan Davis hasn't yet won this championship. He's going to need Clouden to... well, it's just made it easier, hasn't he? 55 points up for grabs. And Dan's 48 clear. Sorry, 57 points up for grabs. Dan's 48 clear. That makes Dan's job a little easier. RB then pulls further ahead of Insert Coin. He goes tied with Harris at the moment. They both go ahead of Gary Leach. That's more important there. Gary goes ahead of Eckholt. Mike Matthews pulls 9 points clear of Sky Shuttlemeyer, so that's not done yet. Ben as well gets clear of Ian Gray. O'Reilly moves up ahead of Hoffer. King goes ahead of Fuchs as well. Will Friedman goes ahead of Stein. So we're saying that Stein could maybe go ahead of Dennis Newman. Will Friedman now could possibly do that. But we'll be back in a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. Drivers' outlaps are being completed, and it is Ian Gray who is the first man on his flying lap. And O'Reilly's still in the pit lane, interestingly. Hopefully he comes out. Hopefully his wheel problems aren't too much for him. But Ian Gray, the first man, sets a flying lap, and he's 48 points the gap between Dan and Clouden. It is nearly there for Dan Davis. He only needs to outscore Clouden by 9 or more points in this race. So in fact, he doesn't, because he's just got to finish in front of Clouden. Apologies. Clouden has got to finish 48 or more points in front of Dan. Overtake a P3, like we said before the break. Not really many changes as well in that Constructors' Championship, other than the fact that Jaeger Motorsport cannot catch Quantum Apex. Sky Shunemeyer currently going the fastest. Then it's Mike Matthews. Insert coin now to the line. He improves on his best. Here comes Will Friedman to that line. He goes P5. Dan Davis, what can he do? Only fourth best. Travis King goes up into P3. It's the 140 of Ben that is next before Richard Beasley's Ferrari will come to line. A lot cooler though, Phil, than yesterday.
A lot cooler than Pro-Am and Juicing for GT4s as well. They actually look, that crowd look quite fit. They're actually almost look like it's going to rain. That'll be interesting for the season finale.
There's no rain schedule, but it does look
ominous.
Does look a little, ominous, doesn't it, in the distance. No rain forecast. Here comes Gary Leach to the line then, just before Jamal Clouden. Jamal's got a mountain to climb, hasn't he, Phil, in this next race? And realistically, he's ruined himself in that first one.
Yeah, it's more than it's definitely it's nearly Everest, didn't he? He's got to climb. I think it's more Ben Nevis actually at the moment. 48 points. If it was like 54 points, that's more Everest.
I don't know, because 57 you score, it's 48. He's behind Dan. It's pretty much done. But either way, it's still been a fantastic season for Jamal Clouden. Many positives he can take going into next season.
Yeah, 5 weeks time. Next season.
As Ian Gray is going to climb. In fact, no, he's gone across the line. He's still 7th place. Dan Davis to the line. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. Travis King doesn't improve. O'Reilly's on an outlap. Here comes Richard Beasley as Will Friedman takes. Insert coin text provisional poll. Will Friedman moves up to P3. Here comes Beasley. No improvement from him. Ben's on an invalid lap as well. I believe Gary 131 is, but Clouden we know he's not. So Clouden needs this pole, doesn't he? Now he needs this pole. He needs to make sure there's course between him and Dan. The problem is, I don't think there's 48 points, because with Stein not being here and other drivers not being here, Clouden, if Dan finishes 12th, that's 19. Oh yeah, there is potentially the points for Clouden to do this.
It is a tall mountain though.
Yeah, Dan basically needs to not finish. Gary Leach returns back to the pitch. Jeez, he's a bit off the pace. He's Gary. You don't see Gary this far off the pace normally. Here comes Jamal Clouden. Goes into P3. So he goes ahead of Dan Davis, but needs pole, doesn't he? He needs every point available.
He does. He needs a point for pole. He needs a point for fastest lap as well. To have and be 48 points in front of Dan.
Ian Gray to the line. No improvement for him. He was on an invalid one. Here comes Mike Matthews. Can he get ahead of Sky Shunemeyer? No, he can't. He improves, but can't get out of Sky. Sky improves a little bit as well, but nothing to really bring home any other positions. Will Friedman, he improves, moves up to P3. Dan Davis goes 2nd place now. Travis King doesn't improve. What about O'Reilly? Can he put a good lap time on the board to start with? He does. P8. Insert coin still net. Pole position at the moment. Can he improve from Dan Davis? No, he cannot. What about Richard Beasley? Needs a 10th to get ahead of Dan. Doesn't find that, and Ben stays P9. Next car again will be Clouden. But Dan gets on that front row of the grid. That's exactly what Clouden doesn't need.
I've lost my train of thought again. It's been a long season. 12 weeks.
Who's in the pits? That is King and Mike. Gary's just caused a yellow flag and goes back to the pits. Gary's struggling out there.
He is. Hard to say. He might have distractions at home, and so that could cause. I think Clouden nearly got track limits on the final corner.
Let's see as he comes to the line. These 2.5 tenths. Gets that 2.5 tenths. Goes provisional pole. That's what he needed. That'll bring a point back. Here comes Ian Gray now. Down towards the start-finish line he comes. What will his lap time be? Can he improve? Get back within a second. No improvement for Ian Gray there. The 2:08 of Will Friedman's on an invalid lap. And it's Dan Davis next one to set a lap. 700ths off the back of Insert Coin. Just under 2/10 off the back of Cloud. And here comes Dan Davis to that line. No improve. Yes, he does. He improves to P2. Does. O'Reilly now goes up into P4. What about Insert Coin this time around? He does not improve. What about Richard Beasley? Any improvement there? He now goes pole. This is anybody's game.
Don't Ferrari need a pole?
Ferrari need one pole for the 25th. Sky Schundelmeyer stays P7. Mike was on an outlap, as is 81 of King. So it will be Clouden again next. Top three separated by just under a tenth. That is close.
It is very, very close. And there's three different manufacturers as well. Ferrari, McLaren and Lamborghini. So, big Captain Obvious.
Six manufacturers in the top six.
Yeah.
As here comes Clouden to that line. Goes back pole again!
Yeah, by... Whoa. He's like, come on boys, come and get it. I want this.
Good gap between him and Richard Beasley.
Yeah, Beasley's putting on a new set of boots.
Oh, Friedman's done. He's probably going to bail out of this lap. He's got enough of a gap. He's just bunny hopped through the little chicane bit as he hit the curb wrong. Here comes Dan. Oh, Dan Davis is bailed. So probably going for one more set of boots.
Because you want to have that one, a new set and a spare set in case you change. But the track temp's a little bit cooler than it was in
I still think you're going to be changing O'Reilly to the line, no improvement. I still think you're going to be changing, personally. Surprised Insert Coin hasn't put a new set of boots on. No improvement. He's just not improving now, so I'm very surprised that he's not had some new tyres on that car.
Got 5 minutes as well to return at the pits. And
yeah, plenty of time to return, come back out, do a lap. Tibbs, no improvement, stays P7. Ian Gray's next.
Beasley's back out there, trying to get Ferrari's 25th pole.
Got a big bit of work to do.
He has.
See, I don't think Dan will mind this, Phil. I don't think Dan will mind this.
No, because there's only a point.
Clouden's in. Mike didn't improve. King didn't improve. The 140 of Ben's coming to the line. He doesn't improve. Or does he slightly? He might have done slightly, should I say. Here comes Gary Leach. Finds a big improvement. Yeah, finds a big improvement there. What about Richard Beasley?
I think Beasley's still on his out that.
No improvement. Will Friedman next up. Is Clouden making a pit stop?
Might be.
That's surely going to take longer than it. Will Friedman, no improvement. What about O'Reilly? Dan's on an out lap.
O'Reilly, Ford's first winner in SimPlay.
Who's next? Guy Schundelmeyer back to line. Insert Coin looks like he's going to be done and pull it in. Is he going to go for one more lap on a fresh set of tyres? Here comes Schundelmeyer to the line. Improves, goes ahead of Will Friedman. So moves up another spot. Good lap from Sky Schundelmeyer. He now pulls it to the side. Is he going to try and put a fresh pair of tyres on? Ian Gray goes ahead of Travis King. Now Mike Matthews needs 0.4 of a second to get back in front of Sky Schundelmeyer for that top 10 finish in the championship. But not only Sky, but also Will Friedman at the moment. Well, he gets closer. Gets ahead of Will Friedman. Gets a little closer. What can Ben do? Only 9th fastest at the moment. 0.9 of a second separating the top 10 as Travis King moves back ahead of Gray. Ben now goes P6. Well, then Gary Leach, can you find that 0.4 of a second? He can! Moves himself into the top 10.
Yeah, here come Beasley.
No improvement. Will Friedman next to the line. Nobody is in the pit lane, so everybody is out for a lap. This is going to be interesting. Final couple of runs here in quali. Will Friedman
Yep.
to the line. Moves up to
P6.
P6. Kieran O'Reilly here. Stays where he is. Dan Davis needs 3/10. What's he got in the locker? Nothing that time around. We'll get 2 more laps, will Dan?
He will. Clouden might.
Oh, Clouden should easily, yeah. 1:31. Clouden should easily get 2 laps in. He'll probably be the last one to finish qualifying. Doesn't improve. Ian Gray. Gray might scrape 1 more lap, yeah. He doesn't. He does improve. Everybody's within a second of each other. What a qualifying this is. Mike Matthews now. Does he improve? He does. Goes ahead of Ben and Schundelmeyer. What about Travis King? No improvement from him. Now Schundelmeyer's turn. He stays P9. What about Ben? Does he go back above? Mikey goes up to second.
He goes up a second. That's another car between Clouden and Dan.
Here comes Gary Leach. Must have found something in this Porsche. Not enough there. Richard Beasley now.
Invalid. I think he's just invalidated.
Beasley's done. Yeah. Beasley's qualifying is done. Here comes Friedman. 9/10 separate the top 12. That is fantastic qualifying.
Sure is. Friedman. Any improvement?
No.
No.
Stays P7. Here comes O'Reilly. Down to 6th now. He doesn't improve. What about Dan Davis? I want to get back on that front row if he can to be alongside Clouden. Improves.
Does improve.
But stays P4. Sky Schundelmeyer is also done. The 140 of Ben is also done. Here comes Jamal. The 131 of Gary is also done.
Let's see if Clouden can put it further out of touch. Can't, but more importantly, he's got another lap.
Yep, so does Gray. What about that of insert coin? Oh, just. So first car to finish will be Mike Matthews. He comes to the line now. Goes P5. Travis King goes P10. And Gray's done. So Gray will be lining up. Gary will be lining up P11. Gray will be lining up P12. Will Friedman's done.
Yep,
Car 75. That is O'Reilly done. It's between you. No, it's not. It's between Dan and it's between insert coin, who was on pole for so long.
Come down through the final corner.
Is Dan going to put on one of them blistering lap times we've come to see with Dan?
What?
To the line he comes now.
I get deafened.
To the line! Oh, he's tied! He's done the exact same time as Jamal Clouden!
That's a screenshot.
Dan Davis just couldn't take the point away. Clouden did the lap first. Well, that's fantastic. That's what you want to see.
It's absolute dead heat.
Oh, imagine that. Here comes insert coin to the line then. What's he going to do? He goes P5, so Ben manages to stay P3. What a lap time, though, that is.
That was definitely a screenshot.
That is a screenshot moment. I bet Dan will be absolutely loving that. He'll be chuckling away, no doubt. And, yeah, what a lap time from that. Because Clouden did it first, Clouden takes the point. That is the most important thing there.
And wow, indeed.
Oh, just, yeah.
By Mike. What a lap by Dan.
What a lap by Dan. What a lap by Dan. Honestly, that was fantastic. That was fantastic.
It wasn't one of them pole laps, though, because I could still hear everything from that.
Yeah. If he'd have gone pole, that would have been something special, but he didn't.
I would be deaf.
He didn't tap the moment. He didn't tap the moment. But what a lap time that is from Dan Davis. Wow, says Mike Matthews. Wow, indeed. And that's where this championship's come down to, isn't it? You know, fine margins.
Shut the front door. And Tony with an amazing. What a lap. Thing is though,
30 seconds.
I've just brought the times up.
Yeah.
Ben's got the fastest first sector, Dan's got the fastest second and third sector.
Well, you know, it's going to be an interesting... Ian Gray just said on Discord, the whole grid within 0.8 is awesome. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Now, last qualifying that was of the season, Jamal Clouden takes it, and that gives Jamal Clouden his fourth... no, that's race wins, apologies. That gives Jamal Clouden his sixth pole position of the season. That puts him on the same as Green Pies, D-Biggs and Nova on 6 pole positions. O'Reilly's race win there, by the way. That puts him on 4 now, which puts him in the category of Skunky High, Jamal Clouden, Peaceful Explosion, aka Mike Matthews, Tobias Hoffer, Daz Automatic, Danlick, Bozzy Boy and Nicky. So there we go. There we go. Amazing, says Fury's granddad. Shut the front door, says Chris. Same as last week. I hope Ben has listened. It's the same in the fact of Ben's P3. Now, 47 points, Phil. Let me just do a quick calculation on the maths. Right, okay. I've done a calculation. Dan is champion.
Wherever he finishes.
Dan is champion. Unless I put that in the wrong box. Let me just double check. No, yeah. Dan is champion. There is not enough points between Clouden and Dan on this track for Clouden to win it. Dan will win it by 10 points. If Dan comes 12th and Clouden wins the race with fastest lap, it will be 10 points. So Dan is the champion. Tony is celebrating by tucking into against us. I'm sure that the whole of Cornwall will be tucking into against us if Dan, well, now that Dan Davis has been confirmed as the champion. He could disconnect. He could. That's a point. So it's not official yet because I didn't actually think of that. So thank you, Mike, for jinxing your teammate first of all. If Dan disconnects, Dan scores 0 points, meaning Clouden would just need to finish second or better without fastest lap. Third and fastest lap is not enough. That's only 46 points. He's 47 behind. So Clouden needs to get top 2 and Dan disconnect. That is how Clouden wins this championship. And if that happens, Dan's teammate has just jinxed him. Let's not forget that one. Don't forget, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as we are fast approaching 750 subscribers. Hit the bell to be notified when we go live and hit this, hit the thumbs up button on the stream as well as check out our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sports. We'll read more of the description later on in the race. As it's green and go for the final time this season, it is Jamal Clouden versus Dan Davis with Ben sat waiting in the wings in P3. Clouden's already coming across to cover off Dan Davis. Gary's having a look up the inside of Tibbs and in towards turn 1. They all come nice and safely. Richard Beasley, Dan's had a moment. Well, there we go. He's dropped it all on his own. Don't disconnect, Dan. That is the only thing that will lose you this championship today, but Dan is already way down the pack. If anybody can fight back in, it's him. Look at Sky Schundelmeyer, though, in the thick of a fight with Gary Leach and Will Friedman, who hasn't had the best of starts. He's been jumped by Sky Schundelmeyer. So already not the best of starts here. And Kieran O'Reilly, by the way, he's moved up to 4th place. Has he? Yeah, no, he's moved up to 6th place, sorry, in this race. And he's on the back of Insert Coin. Where's Ben? Ben's, in fact, just dropped behind him. So Insert Coin is now O'Reilly's now up into 5th place, 4th place because Ben's dropped behind him. Mike Matthews going to try and have a look on the back of Ben, but isn't close enough at the minute. O'Reilly really looks up for this race, Phil.
Yeah, he wants to do the double in the GC3. Get Mustang's 2nd win.
Mike Matthews and Sky Schundelmeyer going side by side. I believe that though has just put Sky on the back foot. He's going to allow Will Friedman to attack the back of Sky, nodding to the next corner. It's not. Will just patiently waits, drops the wheel onto the gravel a little bit maybe there. Here comes Gary Leach taking a wide line. Then it's Travis King, Ian Gray and Dan Davis all at the back on his own. No damage on his car, just lost it on his own. But Clouden did what he needed to do. Then it's Richard Beasley, insert coin from that of Kieran O'Reilly. And let's watch this Mustang pull on the Honda at the moment, Phil, using that grunt of its horsepower.
Yeah, horsepower over handling. I'd rather have handling.
Gary Leach defending from Travis King. We know the outside line is a quick line around this circuit. Ian Gray tried to get involved in the background as well. Might think of making this one 3 wide into the left-hander. They are 3 wide. They're all through nice and cleanly as well. And it's Gary who comes out on top.
They were 3 wide. Wow. It's the last day of school, isn't it? These
last day of school. Yeah, a good bit of racing, good bit of scrapping down the back order of the field. Richard Beasley fastest lap from then insert coin. So Coin's going well in the Honda, isn't he?
Yeah, again, like he did last week at Zolder. And he's quite... He's going to be quite happy to get rid of the Honda, isn't he? But
well, he says so, but you know, I know that's one reason why he wanted to bring the BOP into play, because of the Honda being decent at it. He's really making it dance at the moment. O'Reilly's not got an answer for him. Then it's Ben Meixler ahead of Schunkelmeyer with Will Friedman just behind. And it's Gary Leach from Ian Gray. Travis King, Dan Davis just in the background, but it's Clouden who's stretching his legs out front. He's got a comfortable gap at the moment. And then it's Richard Beasley with insert coin right behind him.
Yeah, well, O'Reilly weren't close enough on the back of the Coins Honda there to utilise his grunt.
I mean, it doesn't matter if Dan stays at the back, Tony, because Dan can finish last and still win this championship. He's got to disconnect to not win it, so I don't think it really matters in terms of Dan being at the back. I think Dan would have rather have, knowing that fact probably, he'd want to go out with a good fight till the very end. Bit of a gap now forming between Gary Leach and Will Friedman as Travis King and Ian Gray go fighting it out through the hairpin. Look at Sky, Will Friedman, right on the back of Mike Matthews. Just now a few trains started to develop here and there. We're seeing the fights start to come out.
Yeah, it feels starting to stretch in places as well. But there's a ding-dong going on between Gray and King.
Insert Coin was having a look at the inside of Richard Beasley there. And just a look, nothing more than that. Richard manages to stay in front of the Honda. Mike Matthews though has got Schundelmeyer, who's done fastest lap of the race, and Will Friedman right behind him. Will Friedman having a good night. Ian Gray has now been passed by Travis King. Dan Davis 3.6 behind now, so he's gaining on these two in front. Insert Coin's a little closer to Richard Beasley this time around, Phil.
He is. I think Beasley's defending, so that's why Cloudon's starting to pull away.
Yeah, potentially so. Is Clouden, is Insert Coin there. Didn't even think about having a look, so he's just keeping Beasley honest. Got back to Schundelmeyer and Mike. Sky's on the outside of Mike Matthews at the moment. And if he can keep it around the outside, he'll have that inside line for the next part of the corner, and indeed he does, except he bounces over the curb, hits the little bump. Now Will Friedman's going to go up the inside of Mike, and they get the 2-for-1 done. Mike Matthews drops down to 8th place, and Sky up to 6th. Sky up to 6th, Will Friedman up to 7th.
Yeah, Sky's car looked very unsettled on the curb, so that looked like it might have gone to the moon.
Well, there is a little bump just mid-curb there. It looks like that's what Sky hit. Mike wants coming back on Sky here, though. But Insert Coin keeping Clouden very honest, and now O'Reilly's come to place. That tells you how much Bees is defending here.
Yeah, well, it's still within a second for kept to the lead, so Cloudon's not a million miles away yet, as Coin's having a look.
Yeah, Coin's having a big look up the inside into the final corner. 4 day late, dollar short. Not getting that one stopped, and the worst thing is he's in the gravel. That is going to hurt his speed down the straight. There goes O'Reilly. Here goes Ben. An insert coin there. Just
O'Reilly, fastest lap.
Insert coin just ran out of luck. Like you say, O'Reilly fastest lap now. And Beasley brings the gap down to under a second to Joel Clouden out from.
Yeah. Game on. Probably just back off. Oh, coins round.
Oh, no. Has he just pushed that Honda 2 all through turn 1? Doesn't look like there's any damage. But insert coin around. He's got work to do now. That puts down up to 11th. Slowly gaining on the others. Here comes Mike though. Mike's still on the back of, or trying to be on the back, sorry, of Will Friedman, who's all over the back of Sky Schundelmeyer. As James saying, a day later, country short. Oh, Mike ran a little wide there into the hairpin. Travis King's all over the back of Gary Leach as well. That's in the background. Clouden's gapped back over to a second now of Beasley. This is a huge fight for Will Friedman to get past Sky Schundelmeyer at the moment.
It is. Can the Porsche do it? That's the question.
Well, Will Friedman seems to make that Porsche look good in the Pro category this season.
And of course, with the bot for next season, Porsche might come into play.
Beasley looks like he's got a great last sector, or middle sector, should I say. Gapped O'Reilly over a second, got it down to under 9/10 of a second to Clouden, but now has lost all that in the final. And here comes Friedman, not close enough yet. Down to Gary Leach and Travis King. They're not close enough either.
Coming to the tight turn 2. Sky's defending.
This guy's defending. This is going to bring Mike Matthews back into play here, Phil.
It will, yeah, because he's going to be putting his car in places so Friedman can't get past, which slows them both down.
It's going to be an interesting predicament to be put in.
King's all over the back of Leach. Just see that Porsche's well over.
I think about 4/10 of Friedman. That's definitely because Friedman's being, I'm not going to say he's being held up by Tibbs, but Tibbs is definitely defending here. He's driving a very good defensive line. 51 minutes still to go in this race. Tibbs already putting on the defensive stuff. Great to see though. Good. I reckon this is going to be a good scrap, and this could be down to the pit stops.
It will be down to pit stops. Like, who goes for the undercut if you feel you're being held up? But again, they're still 13 minutes away. The pit stops.
13 minutes away indeed. Shame to end on such a small grid, but brought us fascinating race in the last 2 weeks, and Will Friedman now just getting a little bit closer to Sky Schundelmeyer down the start-finish straight then. He decides to pull back in, so he's looking now, Phil.
He's filling Tibbs' mirrors up, isn't he? Tibbs defends and heading towards turn 2.
Yep, gets the apex of the corner. This hasn't brought Mike in as quick as I think we were expecting.
No. Fastest man on track in this Clouden. Because he's now 2 seconds up the road from Beasley, who's starting to get his nerves filled with O'Reilly and that massive Mustang.
I think that's going to be a big talking point with the bot next season. Who will be in the Mustang?
Yeah. Will we see the return of the Bentley? Will we see the V12 Aston make a comeback? A proper one.
Good evening to Mother Davis in the chat. Is around the outside, Friedman has a look on Schundelmeyer, but can't do it there.
Yeah, Beasley's defending. I reckon as soon as that pit window opens, if Friedman's still stuck behind Sky, he'll dive straight.
Well, I'll tell you, who could be the beneficiary is Mike Matthews.
Yeah.
O'Reilly's on the outside here, Richard Beasley towards the final corner. Going to try and get that cut back. Does he get it done? He gets a good launch out the corner. So did Beasley, though. And now it's the prancing horse versus the Mustang itself. Down the start-finish straight. O'Reilly's going to pull out on the inside. Gary's jinked out in the background. That's probably too good defensive over Travis King. Beasley on the inside. O'Reilly on the inside. Beasley on the outside. Still side by side they come. O'Reilly tucks back in behind. That's a great bit of driving from the pair of them.
That is. Isn't O'Reilly from FBR as well?
No.
No?
No.
He might have raced the FBI boys by being Xbox. Dan is now on the back of Gray.
Yeah, Dan's now on the back of Gray. We're going to keep with this fight for second and third between O'Reilly and Richard Beasley. At the moment, Wolf Friedman's still there on Schundelmeyer. And Dan, in fact, no, we'll tell you what, we'll go to Dan because that is the closest fight. Dan and Ian Gray. Going to be an interesting one to watch to the end of this race. 48 minutes, pit window opens in the next 11. And Dan knows now he's won the championship, he's just not going to disconnect. Dan's going to just want to have some fun out there, isn't he, while overtaking cars?
He is. He want to win, but the car just looked like it just lost traction from through turn one.
Just went off, didn't it? All on its own.
Yeah. As O'Reilly's back on the back of Beasley. This time he didn't have a look into the final corner.
No, it's going to be all about that run down here. Now, Tibbs got Schundelmeyer got a 20-second time penalty, a drive-through penalty, sorry, in the 20-minute race. This race is 40 minutes longer. Do you reckon he'll get the same thing here?
Yeah, I would hope he's learned not to take track limits as much in this race. So, but Beasley and O'Reilly have come together. Oh,
they've made contact going into turn two. And that's allowed Ben through. Beasley's gone back on as well. And what about O'Reilly? Schundelmeyer went through. Friedman went through. Mike did not. Mike has dropped well off the back of Schundelmeyer and Friedman. But O'Reilly and Beasley with contact there. And now the closest fight is Travis King and Dan and Ian Gray.
Yeah. Oh, that was it looked unfortunate. I've got a feeling the stewards might be busy this week again. Dan is all over Gray.
I don't think the stewards are going to be too busy. I don't think they're going to be too busy. Dan
Dan's
goes up
past
the inside,
Gray.
yeah.
I think that was Gray, sort of like, you know what.
I think Dan had the idea of sending it up the inside, but Gray was also at the same time like, yeah, I'm not getting involved in this championship fight. Now we turn our attention to Travis King and Gary Leach. That's the next fight on the track. And because of that incident, Clouden now has 6 seconds and the fastest lap. So, doing what he needs to at the moment.
He is, yeah. As King again on the back of Gary, having a look.
Just not close enough. He seems to get a better run than Gary though out the final corner. He's now going to pull that inside line. Yeah, this is going to be the problem. Is does Gary's Porsche have enough in a straight line? We know though, Phil, that the outside line from last night and tonight so far is the better line at turn one.
It is, and well, even in GT4s.
Yeah. O'Reilly went for a bit of an optimistic run there, says Jamie Brazier in the chat. These two have now got Dan gaining on the back of them.
Yeah, they're holding each other up. Or...
Time for O'Reilly to come back though. Tibbs is now on the back of Richard Beasley.
Oh, Gary's over the curb. King's down the inside.
Oh, Gary squeezes him, gives him as little room as possible. Is Gary going to try and keep there for the inside line on that left-hander? King gives him the room, but Gary gets but it's already got past. King has done a little wiggle on the curb. And that allows Gary Leach to come back on the inside, on the outside line, in towards the hairpin. Gary's going to try and squeeze King as much as he can. Dan Davis is watching on here.
He's saying, go on.
Great scrap this is between Gary Leach and Travis King. Dan Davis still watching on in the background. Oh, Gary's tapped him!
Oh, Dan, they got it. Oh.
Gary's tapped Travis King. Here comes insert coin. Gary's slow. Gary's letting King back through.
He is, and he's lost out the coin.
Yeah, in doing
well.
so, he's lost out to insert coin. Right, Richard Beasley starting to pull away from Will Friedman. As now it is Sky, Will Friedman, O'Reilly. Mike Matthews hasn't got an answer to these boys at the moment. But Gary Leach here, day late, dollar short again. It's not the first time we've seen that from Gary this season.
No, it isn't. Again, he's got quite a bit of distraction at home at the moment, so... he resumes his battle with King. Albeit now for a P11 and P12.
Yeah, so Insert Coin's back up into that top 10, and Insert Coin's got good pace around this track today. That's something we know for a fact. And It's just going to be an interesting one. Gary's now going back around the outside.
Okay.
Are you as confused as I am?
Yeah, Gary got past King then.
So was that all on Gary then? Did King give Gary the place back because Gary yielded the time to King? Did Gary think that was his fault? Did King think that was his fault? Either way, Gary's back ahead of Travis King now. And Sky Schundelmeyer is within 6 tenths of Richard Beasley. Has got Friedman 3 tenths behind him. Has got O'Reilly 4 tenths behind him. So there is a train of cars here for P3.
Yeah, and what a train. But how much damage does Beasley and O'Reilly's car have?
Well, that's going to be the biggest question, isn't it, to come to the line. 3 tenths of a second separate Schundelmeyer to Beasley, 4 tenths Schundelmeyer to Friedman, and another half a second then from Friedman to O'Reilly.
The question is, Dan's now behind his teammate.
I think Dan's just going to tell him. I think Dan's just going to tell him to have fun. I think Dan's just going to tell him to have fun, race his race, and
That's literally the only full team left.
It is the only full team left. Yeah, it is the only full team left. Harris should be here as well, but obviously can't make tonight. I believe he's away. So them and FBR would have been the only full teams left. Just check on Gary and King for us. They look pretty close. I'm just going to keep our eyes on this quartet here of Beasley, Schundelmeyer, Friedman and O'Reilly.
I'll tell you what, I'm seeing the lines between Gary and King, but very interesting, very Tokyo Drift-esque.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cars stepping out.
Looks like Beasley's just started to gap Sky. Sorry, Phil. But he looks like he's just started to gap Sky a little bit, where Sky is now coming under more pressure from Friedman. Friedman just cannot get past Sky at the moment. Just doesn't have the pace to get past him.
No, I reckon though, if Friedman got in clean air, he'd pull away.
I reckon the same for O'Reilly as well.
Yeah.
Well, here comes Friedman, has a look, tucks back in.
And so, again, keep the Sky busy in the mirrors.
Pulls to the inside now. Sky goes defensive. And O'Reilly's going to try and sneak up the inside of Will Friedman here. And Friedman stays in front, manages to keep that Porsche ahead. This is what Sky needs. Sky needs this of O'Reilly to start putting the pressure on Friedman to take the pressure off of Sky.
He does. So Sky can attack Beasley.
Yeah, this is, so if O'Reilly gets on the back of Friedman, Sky is free to attack Beasley for that podium.
Meanwhile, Gary and King are still having a ding-dong. Gary, there's an interesting line by Gary again. There's some interesting lines, as I said. But then again, these camera angles for Valencia are about as bad as...
They're not the best,
bad as some Project Class 2 cameras. And I thought Zolder last week was bad.
O'Reilly started to have a look on Friedman there. Pit window opens in 2.5 minutes.
Who will be first in for the undercut, or will you try to get the halfway point and put a fresh set of boots on?
I think you're going to need a fresh set of boots around here. I just think you will.
Even though this race has been 2 degrees cooler track temp compared with race 1.
I still think the nature of the circuit is going to call for...
King's past. Larry down the inside final corner.
Well, there we go. We're still watching this fight for third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Well, Mike Matthews not really in it at the moment. Is Gary going to try though at turn 1? No, too far back. Insert coins on the back of Gray as well now. So the pit window getting closer. And these battles becoming more fiercer at the minute. Let's go Sky, says Tracy in the chat. O'Reilly now looking racy with Friedman. This is what Sky wants, is O'Reilly on the back of him.
Yep. And you're not going to miss the Mustang, really, are you?
You wouldn't think so, no. Back down to Gray and Coyne. Has Coyne got ahead of Gray?
They're side by side into the left-hander,
Yes,
and
now.
Coyne's got him.
Yep, so Coyne through. Gary Leach not through on Travis King either, so Travis managing to pull a gap still. And Richard Beasley managed to get that second over Sky that he needed, and Will Friedman's managed to put a bit of time between him and O'Reilly.
Coyne went deep over the next double apex right-hander then. And now ahead of...
We're going to give a quick shout out to Jeremy. Good evening, Jeremy. It's Sky's dad. He doesn't usually watch, but he's watching tonight. So good evening, Jeremy. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying the drive that your young lad is putting on, because Sky is... you know, the funny thing is, a few of them defensive tricks look a little familiar to Tuesday night's race 1. So I wonder if he's picked a few of them up. That was hard to keep Sky behind him, I'm not going to lie, that was a brilliant race. And look how dark it's getting, Phil. A few of the lights coming on now.
Yeah, it really has got dark. And someone crafted put Raiden in the server settings of the final race. In the final 15 minutes.
Pit window is opening.
The pit window has opened, and everyone...
What do you do if you're clouded? You've got a comfortable lead, you could do anything.
You can, well, he's definitely got enough time to change tyres from Ben.
Gary's coming back on King. Gary's up the inside and past King. So that's another move done. O'Reilly's coming back on Friedman.
Right, just Cloudland's the first person with the opportunity to pit.
Now there's no rain forecast, Chris. So that's where I'm a little confused at the moment. It's gone dark, but there's no rain forecast.
Friedman's in.
Yeah, Will
straight
Friedman
in.
pulling the trigger. He's not wasting any time.
Mike stays out. Dan stays out. He's got Coyne on the back of him nearly.
Yeah, Coyne's gaining on him, yeah. Coyne is gaining on him. Oh, King's had an off. King's had an off at the chicane.
Was that with Gary involved, or?
I'm not sure. Gary's carried on going, so I'm not sure. But King is off, and King straight into the pit lane. So now O'Reilly's the car that's going to try and hunt down Sky Schundelmeyer. I like this from Friedman.
Yeah, I do. He knew he obviously feels he's getting held up by Sky. And Beasley in front as well, because again, yes, that Ferrari had a knock.
Change the boots. Get a fresh set of tyres.
Yeah. And then push like mad.
Yeah, I doubt it as well, but you know, 0.85 cloud, randomness on 2. It shouldn't rain.
But this is
the forecast that was posted on the Discord.
O'Reilly's pushing.
No percentage of rain at all. It's just very cloudy. It's just gone dark. Is all we can say.
Beasley's in, Ben's in.
Dark. Sorry, Phil.
Beasley and Ben are just pitted. Probably to cover Friedman. Well, O'Reilly has caught Sky.
Yeah, O'Reilly has caught Sky. And ignore the fact that Sky was 6 tenths off the back of Ben. That's because he'd have crossed the line as Ben entered pit lane. These two haven't covered Friedman. Beasley possibly has. He started to pull away from Sky, but we saw Dan gain 3 seconds in race 1 in the pit window. So let's see what's happened tonight. Daz Automatic, congratulations to Dan if he takes his championship. But he's not been his clinical self these last few weeks, and Jamal has put him under a lot of pressure. And that there from Daz is
high praise.
Well, it's high praise from Darren Yeo, and you know, it's good praise to have from the Welshman. But it's accurate, isn't it? It's what he says is bang on. Dan has been under pressure these last 3 weeks, and Jamal has had the rub of the green, so to speak.
Ben's dropped and away. There's Friedman. Oh, I don't think Friedman's going to jump. He may get... It's not be close to Beasley. No, Beasley's got him. He hasn't jumped Beasley.
So Beasley stays ahead. Beasley did enough. Did then Will Friedman change tyres and Beasley maybe didn't?
Maybe.
Let's wait and see as this race goes on. Daz saying that I think he'll need to improve to stay ahead of Jamal next season for sure. Yeah, I think he will as well. Sky Schundelmeyer into the pits just as O'Reilly gets on the back of him. Good evening to next up Cards. Schundelmeyer then into the pits. Mike stays out, Dan stays out. Into Coins gaining on Dan. That's coming down a little bit.
Yep, and Gray stays out. What about Gary? Gary also stays out.
Friedman on the back of Beasley.
Right, I'm keeping an eye on Tibbs' dot. Ben is a little bit off the road.
Well, Ben was ahead of Tibbs, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Tibbs was just behind Beasley and Will Friedman just in. Beasley was just in front of Schundelmeyer, and Friedman was just behind him.
Tibbs hasn't gone green yet, and here comes Beasley and
This
Friedman.
could be a change of tyres. So did these two change tyres?
Tibbs has just been dropped, but they're already passed.
Schundelmeyer goes green, undercut strong, and that shows how strong the undercut is. So for O'Reilly now, maybe it's worth going even longer into this window.
Yeah. Let's have a look, see what O'Reilly does. He's coming.
Oh, Friedman's got past Beasley. Oh, Beasley's tapped him round.
Oh.
Stops and waits. That's allowed Schundelmeyer through, look.
Yeah, because it's just close. I'm not going to think a second of it, is he?
Yeah.
He's not going to go,
thank you, Mama, for the carrots, is what he's going to say. Don't mind if he takes 2 places. That'll help O'Reilly out.
Coins in.
Coin is in. That undercut could work on Dan. Gray's in as well. What about Gary? Gary stays on his way at the moment. Ben has done well to cover Beasley. Works even better now, the fact that Friedman and Beasley came together. But Friedman got ahead of Beasley there, Phil.
Yeah, he did, and it just got a little bit messy again. Oh. Clouden is all on his own. Really, really.
Seconds up the road, he's really got control of this race. Don't forget, if you do like what you see here at SimPlay Motorsport, hit that thumbs up button and hit the bell to be notified when we go live. We will be back live with the next season in 5 weeks' time. Sign-ups will be going out very soon for that. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. We are fast approaching 750 subscribers. If you want to check out our fantastic sponsors, go into the description below and press Design Manchester, producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing and much more, including SimPlay Motorsport merchandise. Head over to their Facebook page. Link is in the description. And if you want to check out Audio Sport, the manufacturers of VW Transporter T4 audio solutions and styling products, head over to www.audiosport.co.uk or check out their Facebook description. Facebook link in the link below. Racing with him over a year.
He's talking about RB. Beasley. O'Reilly is
right,
in.
yeah, just read the comment above. Yeah, apologies. O'Reilly now is in. This is going to be interesting to see where Sky comes out, comes towards O'Reilly. O'Reilly is stationary now.
We are at the halfway mark. Keep the
Sky's now coming through the second double I Apex. Chris has also asked, what's the story about carrots?
Just a saying, Chris. I heard it once from Gary Leach that we'd overtook somebody in a race one time, and he just said, "Thank you, Mama, for the carrots," and then it stuck with me, and I've used it ever since. So, yeah, it's got to be a good move, though. You can't just give the carrots out willy-nilly. It's got to be a good move, or a lucky move where like Sky's just picked up 2 places there, didn't really do anything because the 2 made contact. O'Reilly overcut Sky Schundelmeyer there. That is a great strategy. It's close, but O'Reilly's ahead of Schundelmeyer, showing O'Reilly's pace in clean air.
Yeah, that Mustang has got some pace in his hands, hasn't it?
Next up, Cards, aka Sky's dad. Not sure what you mean there, Tracy. As Clouden pits from the race lead, well, we don't need to worry about anybody undercutting him.
No, he's nearly into next season already. How far in front he is in this race?
I think Dan's going for the ultimate overcut here. See how many you can overcut by going till the very end.
So the window is shut. As long as you pass that speed.
Sparking Game uses the thank you mama for the carrots. And it doesn't have to be carrot, you can use any vegetable. You know, you've got to be clever with it. You know, we thanked your mama for the ginsters once when Dan did a good move. You know, being Cornish, Dan loves ginsters.
He's gonna kill you later.
Yeah, there you go, look. There you go, the HGV passes inspection by you. Thank your mama for the carrots, off you go. Just on with your day. It's just a saying Gary Leach gave me, and it's stuck since. Mike Matthews leads a race. Let's just record this for a moment. Let's capture that on stream. There you go, Mike. And that's all you're having. We're watching the fight of Sky Shundlemeyer and Kieran O'Reilly, as we saw Kieran Argent say, wished I'd win the race. You gotta try again. Oh, Beasley is in the pits. Why is he in the pits again?
No, he isn't.
Oh no, he's made a mistake. He's made a mistake somewhere. Then here comes insert coin. So Beasley's made a mistake. There you go. Thank you, Mama, for the apples. You're in Somerset. There you go. You see, it doesn't just have to be a carrot. Daz would probably say leeks because he's in Wales. You know.
Turnips. I just think Gary in third at the moment.
How about thank the baker for the pasties? You're trying too hard now, Darren. You're trying too hard now. Let's just keep it simple here, Daz. Let's not change sayings. You know, we can change the vegetable, we can change the end, but let's not change the whole phrase.
Wait until we're in a certain
month. Your mum
month.
could bake a pasty from home. Plus, how many times do you thank the baker for baking it? You never do. You always thank your mother.
Okay, but in October we ought to say thank the mama for the pumpkins then. Because,
yeah, why not? Why not?
Because they're Halloween.
Not long till Christmas, Peanut.
Oh.
4 months and 3 days.
I've already seen that
Join us live for
in
next
the shop.
season, where the closer it gets to November, the Christmas puns are going to start coming out. Thanking Rudolph for the carrots come Christmas, let me tell you.
The turkey.
So turkey's not just a race. I don't know if you can tell, chat. There is a bit of a lull in the race. Mike Matthews do a good one. He is racing nicely. Mike is due a good one. I think. Let's talk about this, Phil. Let's discuss this. This has been a hot topic, I think, this season. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Mike picked the wrong car. Should have stuck with the Ferrari.
You should have stuck with Ferrari, or you maybe used for Honda. Yeah, and not ran the Lambo. But both simply they are going wrong. They got enough for two more laps. Both. Oh, hiccup. Sorry. SimPlay racing drivers are. Oh, Ben's within 3 seconds of Clouden.
Clouden probably changed tyres.
Probably changed brakes as well in that time.
Yeah, probably has. Jamie Brazier thanked the Cornish for the ginsters. Now you see, you're changing it. We don't need to change the first bit. Mama will suffice.
Yeah.
O'Reilly's pulled away from Shundlemeyer. I've put the driver of the day of the season poll up. If you do think other, please comment who. But let's think about this as well, right? Let's not just comment other because they're your favourite driver. Seriously, vote on who you think has had a great season. If you have pressed other, please let us know who you think in the chat.
Well, for me, it's probably Clouden because he's really come on strong.
Yeah, I can never look past the champion. For me, it's Dan. You know. But Clouden is a fair shout, and I see why people would vote for Clouden. If you have pressed that other button, please let us know who it is. I have a feeling I know who's pressed other, and I have a feeling I know who they're going to say.
What the other, and they're going to say Tibbs. Yeah,
yeah. There's 7 votes, 43%. I mean, someone keeps changing their mind. The others probably BSP, Tim, Max, Tracy have all gone Tibbs. Haven't commented it yet. I think Tibbs had a great season. Tibbs driver of the season GT4 100%. Not been the driver of the season GT3 Pro.
Mike and Dan are both in the pits, by the way.
Mike and Dan are in the press. Chris missed press. He selected Dan. It's a good shout. I could see why Clouden would win this vote. I really could. Mike and Dan in the pits. Here comes Jamal Clouden. I pressed other. I'm gonna go Gray, smashing it in his first season pro. That's okay. Interesting shout. Interesting shout.
Out of a lot, they got promoted.
I'd have got, you see now, I'd have gone Gray for most improved, seeing as it's his first season in pro, but fair play. I'll tell you another one for most improved this season. Ben's improved throughout the season. O'Reilly massively. Sky is a great shout for most improved as well this season. There he is, Tracy saying Sky. Of course you did. I think Sky's a good shout for most improved in pro this season, with O'Reilly and with Ben and people like that. Mike comes out the pits ahead of Dan Davis. Dan Davis just losing out to Richard Beasley. Mike came out just behind Sky Schundelmeyer. So Mike's strategy of going very, very long. Coin is around again. And Travis King has a drive-through penalty for track limits. What a shame for him. Chris saying Dan because he helped Ben get in the league. Technically that was Dan's dad.
That was Kelly. It
was thanks to you and Ben being on the simulator at the same time as Kelly was stood there trying to poach drivers. We need to just hook Kelly up near the site and be like, SimPlay Motorsport. You race on console? Right, get on. That could be Kelly's new job.
Kelly's new job.
Mike Matthews within 9/10 of Sky Schundelmeyer. They've both kept ahead of Will Friedman since Will Friedman's incident with O'Reilly. And Will's now going to be a man on a mission.
Yeah. King's done his drive-through straight away.
Yeah, this is where I say Ben's been most improved. I think his first race at Brands to get the podium, great podium for Ben, but the reverse grid helps that. And then you just look at Ben's results, I think he's got stronger as the season's gone on. The problem with pro results this season is it's hard to look at pro results because drivers have been missing. But I feel that Ben, Sky, O'Reilly, King's really improved, Gray's improved, have really, been the most improved of this season between 1 and 4. Mike coming under pressure here from this of Will Friedman.
Yeah, it's just a shame the last few races have had such low turnout with pro. So we haven't seen everybody's full potential for a while.
Eckholt's another shout. For a driver of the season, for as small time as Eckholt's been here, Eckholt's another shout.
Imagine if Eckholt did the whole season. This championship battle.
I think Eckholt would have been champion. There's Friedman here, going around the outside of Mike Matthews, down the hill towards the next hairpin. Is Friedman going to be up the inside of Mike? He's not, no. Mike manages to hold on to that place. Clouden's now 5 seconds clear of Ben. Ben could be on for a double podium here. 20 minutes to go left in this race. Dan's on the back of Richard Beasley. That's 0.8 of a second. We're going to stick with the Mike Matthews-Will Friedman fight.
Oh, look at the time gap for O'Reilly behind Ben was 6.666 seconds. It's shit.
That's what we want to see.
It's not now.
He does deserve it. He does deserve it. O'Reilly's coming for Ben. Here comes Friedman. Sure, that was an aggressive jink out and tuck back in. Dan's not close enough to Beasley here. Mike already defending. On the he's already gone on the defensive. And Friedman knows, can he tuck back underneath on the exit of the corner? He's going to try it, but this will give Mike that inside line for the next part of the hairpin look. And the double right-hander, but Friedman, if he keeps around the outside here, Friedman can have the inside line for the next part of the corner. This is great racing from the Frenchman and the Englishman. This is brilliant for 3 corners. Into the 4th, and Friedman up the inside. That deserves a thank you, Mama, for the carrots. Will Friedman up into P5.
No, if he's French, thank you, Mama, for the baguettes. Yeah. It could be worse. It could be snails.
Ben's had doubts whether he deserves to be in pro the last couple of weeks. I think Ben has more than proved his capability of being in pro this season. There is not a shadow of a doubt that Ben deserves to be in pro.
And the thing is that Ben's young enough to really improve as well.
Ben's what, 14, I believe he is. So he's only going to get stronger. He's only going to get stronger. Can't let one bad race get you down. Always about coming back stronger, because you always get a fresh start. And that you do. Every week's a fresh start, whether you've got a race ban, a quali ban, or a week ban. You will always come back fresher in the next one. O'Reilly's got it down 6.333. So he started to come back here on Ben. And at the minute doing a great job is Ben P2. And they just haven't had the pace of Clouden here, have they?
No. Clouden's very much looking on for a lot lights to flag victory here, but again, there's still 18 minutes left. Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can and probably will happen in this race.
So O'Reilly's rapid, been a bit clumsy this race, though, with a few incidents he's been involved in, so...
Yeah, I think O'Reilly and Ben are the two shouts for driver of the day. Does O'Reilly tip it because of getting Ford's first win? Oh, I don't know. You might have to just give it both of them, you know.
But he did tangle earlier this race as well. He's had a few tangles.
Yeah, he has. He has.
And Boss, so far, touch wood, Ben hasn't. It really does look hazy in the background on some camera angles.
It does, and I mean, look how black it looks there on the camera angle of Richard Beasley and Dan at the moment in the distance. There's no rain around, but I think it got up to 42 degrees at this stage in the race yesterday in Pro-Am. Obviously, the GT4s didn't get this far into this race.
No.
So they didn't get to, I don't think they'd have got to 42 degrees, but it's 36. It's 6 degrees cooler, Phil, for this race than what it was for... You know, the last one.
For Pro-Am.
And Dan's getting closer to the back of Richard Beasley. Gap O'Reilly to Ben's under 6 seconds. Is Dan going to look up the inside of Richard Beasley? No. Thinks better of it at the time being.
That is just hard to say. Well, I've already said who I think driver of the season.
Ben's mum is
Coins
stressed.
off
Why is Ben's
again.
mum stressed? No, not the second race Coin would have wanted. That's allowed.
Right.
Gary's a mile behind. No, he's not actually. He's at turn 1. Oh, Dan's hit Beasley! And where did Mike come from?
Has Mike had a pirouette?
Mike's appeared in front of the pair of them, and Dan hit Beasley, and Dan gives him a flash of the lights, probably an apologetic one.
Yes, it's just... I forgot what I was going to say again.
Well, this fight continues, and Mike Matthews lost out loads to Will Friedman now. Friedman 3.3 off the back of Sky. Sky on for a P4 here. Good race from Sky.
It is a good race. Yeah, held high. He's GT4 champion. He can run the number 1 in GT4s next season if we run them. I think we're probably going to run them anyway, aren't we? GT4s.
Not sure at the moment. Dan's now looking to the inside of the final corner. Beasley has that wide berth. Dan has to tuck in. That's going to compromise Dan's run because he's had to keep that tighter line. Look, you just see the Ferrari gets the better run. Dan now tucks back in behind, and now he's going to have to do it all again at turn 1. And you just get the feeling that I didn't think Dan was going to look up the inside there. Beasley's gone very wide. That's going to allow Dan through.
Someone's got to be close to track limits again.
O'Reilly 5.5 now behind Ben. So let's not forget, Jamal Clowder, this man on screen is race leader, but it's going to count for nothing. Ben is P2. Then it is O'Reilly in the Mustang. Great night for the Mustang. Great end of the season.
Yeah. Well, Clouden's doing everything he can but to try and win this. But it's just not to be again.
Came closer this time, and I suppose that's his bonus, is he's came closer.
But he can take it into next season.
He can 100% take his form into next season. Dan's now going to gain on Mike. Are these two just going to race here at the very end? He's taking
Friedman.
Beasley with him as well.
Friedman's closing in on Sky.
Yep, gets down to 2.7. Still plenty of time left in this race as well. Imagine if it did just go dark enough where we just got a late shower.
Yeah, but we have.
I'm talking a very fine sprinkling.
Yeah, enough to make things a little bit tricky.
Yeah, a little bit interesting for that final 10 minutes.
If only, eh?
And Gary wins the race.
It could be worse. We could enable snow.
Can't on this game. That's a shame.
Maybe on the new project, whatever it's called, that's coming out next year, might have weather. But which is a lot of the devs from Studio Wildcard. Not Studio Wildcard. Slightly Mad Studios. That's the right one. Who did Project Cars. Studio Wildcard do art.
Dan's on the back of Mike now.
Are we
to O'Reilly's 5.6 to him and Ben, 2.8 Schundelmeyer to Freeman. Oh, Dan's gone wide. And that's going to invite Richard Beasley back up the inside.
Does Beasley get past?
No.
No.
But look how black and dark it looks in the background.
I know, it looks hazy, like there is rain in the distance.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, they're racing on the edge of the storm. You can see the storm in the background. They're so tantalisingly close to drench you, but you're not close enough yet. Actually, I've been in race circles where that's happened, where you just sit there and you go, that's heading this way.
Done that many a time at Donington.
Done it at Snet, and Snet you can see quite a way. And it's like...
Sat on the inside hill looking down at the craners and you just see the rain in the distance and you just think, oh yeah.
Better get waterproof
Get the brollies out, get the brollies out, get the waterproofs on.
And everyone look at you like you're going nuts. And then it falls and then you just go, and we go, who looks nuts now? Not me. I'm not the one soaking wet. God, Dan is right up Mike's trumpet. He's flashing Mike as well.
Don't forget, if you want any questions to be answered before the end of the stream, get them in the chat and we'll get them answered to you as soon as possible. He's flashing Mike, but the game on here, I don't see why Mike should let Dan through here, you know? This is a fight in this race at the moment.
The gap between Cloud and Ben was 6.666 as well, Ben.
There we go. That's the gap you want. 6.6
over
4. And Dan's pushing Mike in towards the chicane now. Here comes Dan Davis. Side by side with his teammate. He's got the outside line though for the final corner. Mike breaks a little earlier. This could be the last time these two pair together. We don't know what the teams are going to be for next year. No contract signed at SimPlay Racing between these two.
No.
And Dan's going to pull out to the inside line. We know the outside line can be faster, but has Dan got that better run going into turn one? Teammates would hate to take each other out here on the final race, and they come perilously close. And here comes Richard Beasley to join the party as well. Dan has the inside line over his teammate Mike Matthews. Can Mike hold it around the outside? Richard Beasley getting right involved. They're 3 wide, coming through the next part of the corner. Dan's just in front of the pair of them. Dan gets through. Richard Beasley can't because Mike's on his inside line and has the inside line for the next corner as well. Beasley's done just enough though to get Mike, and Mike once again loses out on 2 positions. Has he yet? Yes, he has. Great fight. Great fight.
Oh, I had my hand over my eyes covered then.
I could just see Dan and Mike wiping each other out there.
That'd be Weber Vettel in 2010 at Turkey, wouldn't it? All over again.
That would have been fantastic, is what that would have been. Yes, Tony, can confirm that one. That's an easy question next. And that is racing, Chris. That is hard racing. There's a Schundelmeyer here. Just starting to come under... I say come under pressure. Starting to watch his mirrors possibly a little more here.
Yeah. Because there's a looming Porsche coming. I think O'Reilly's charge for second is done. he's still 6 seconds off. So I think he's just staying with it where he is. This guy is probably now thinking, please don't get any closer, please. As Mike's losing out to Beasley and Dan now. He's falling away.
The sparking game of quality racing from 3 top races. Indeed it is. It was fantastic. Schundelmeyer's on the back of King to put a lap on him. Yeah. Insert Coin's been passed by Gary. He struggled in this race. He's been lapped by Jamal Clouden. Has insert Coin. The 140 of Ben's nearly going to lap him as well. And Travis King moves right out the way of Schundelmeyer and Will Friedman. Beasley still within 8/10 of Dan Davis. There they are. But it's this man, Will Friedman, who's on a bit of a charge at the moment, hunting down that blue and white McLaren just up ahead of Sky Schundelmeyer.
Of course, that blue and white McLaren, if it stays at McLaren for BSP, will probably be
well, more than likely, but obviously with there being 2 BSP teams more than likely on that grid next season, they can't run the exact same liveries as both teams, so they will have to run slightly different colours to be able to identify who is BSP 1 and 2. But this man just under 2 seconds now to Schundelmeyer. 7 minutes left, so he's still got time, but he's got a bit of a hurry up at the moment.
He has got a bit of a hurry up, but it's doable to catch. But as Murray once said, catching's one thing, passing's quite another. Especially cleanly. But Dan's dropping and Beasley is now the second and a bit. Second and a half roughly between Dan and Beasley. Gray's had a quiet race too.
Yeah,
really?
Quiet race too, gone about P9. He had a good fight with Dan and with Gary and King, early doors, and that fell away. Jamie Brazier, how many times have you laughed at Gary hitting the wall in the last week?
Quite a lot. Every time I watch a clip.
Every time I watch that YouTube short, yeah. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's brilliant. 1.3 seconds now. Friedman's took half a second after Schundelmeyer in that middle sector alone.
Beasley's back on Dan.
So Friedman's coming here. Beasley back on Dan. Mike's not really in this conversation at the moment. Well, Dan's champion because it's 3/4 of the race.
Yeah.
So he'd have scored points. Here comes Beasley.
For service stats for me, just ping red. Oh no.
Yeah, didn't he just then as well, so keep an eye on that. But Dan stays ahead of Beasley at the moment. Schundelmeyer versus Friedman, that's 7/10.
Lamborghini versus Ferrari.
Yep, and Porsche versus McLaren. Further up the road, Friedman. Oh, he's coming. Oh, Friedman's coming.
Hunt is on.
I don't think the hunt is on. I think the hunt will be done this lap. I think Friedman's got better tyres underneath him than Schundelmeyer.
That's the point. Sky's gaining points on Mike at the moment.
Yeah, he's gonna gain points on Mike. But Friedman's got better grip than Schundelmeyer here, by far.
The pit wall. For more on hitting pit walls, let's talk to David Coulthard. 95 Adelaide.
Will Friedman on the back of Schundelmeyer coming down the start straight, just had better grip out that final corner, just was able to get the throttle down better. Looks to the inside, comes back in. I think this might be looking to be set up into turn 2.
You just see what Tony said.
And Friedman can't get it done through there this time around. Beasley's a bit further off the back of Dan, so we're going to stick with the Sky Will Friedman battle here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia. Oh, he's trying some tricks here, is Friedman. Friedman's overtook a few cars in this race. Yeah, he's done well. He's done well, and he's got another one in the locker here. easily. Sky's dropped off the back of the pack. I don't think Sky changed tyres because his grip levels just look like they've gone.
Yeah, but they look like they died.
Look at that, look at that. Oh, lean on each other a little bit. And down the hill they come.
Little bit of touring car.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a lean.
No,
Nothing wrong with a lean.
Could be worse. At least none of them are BMWs and wipe out certain riders. Oh, Coin's got to stop there. You can make things worse. Drive through for check limits.
That'll put him dead last. That'll put Travis King P11.
Mike's around.
It wouldn't be the end of the season without Mike doing a couple of pirouettes here and there, would it? You know.
No.
Will Friedman here though. Is Mike being overtaken by Ian Gray there? He has been,
he is.
Game on. Friedman's got so much more pace at the moment though. This could be fantastic. Down to Dan and Beasley. Beasley's on the back of Dan. Mike now on the back of Gray. Did Mike change tyres? Because he's all of a sudden just died, you know.
Yeah. Ben's within 6 seconds now of Clouden.
Tracy saying great defence from Sky. It is indeed. Come on, Ben, says Natasha in the chat. And Rubin is racing. Wouldn't be touring car fans without that, would we? You know, you've got to enjoy a good lead.
Exactly.
Hey, and me and Tibbs leaned on each other enough race one of GT Force Tuesday night, and race one was a fantastic race. Sky's been with SimPlay Motorsport now for a while.
He has.
150 races tonight. He's done. I've seen Sky grow into a fantastic little driver.
Yeah, he's worked his way up.
Oh, there we go. Natasha Rook in the chat is Ben's mum. She's more nervous than I've ever seen her. Well, your boy's on for a double podium. Hopefully you've got some fingernails left. Insert coins in. 150 races. We've seen Tibbs go from a guy who's by the back of the grid to a guy that's now won his first championship and a guy that's, you know, up there in pro week in, week out.
Yeah,
he's solid.
Defensive line by Sky.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
No, he's now got to hold his line.
He does so. Now, was that a tactic to counteract Friedman, you know, weaving in and out?
Maybe, yes. To, you know, break the toe a little bit.
You say last lap. I believe Clouden's got one more lap in him.
Where Clouden's now coming to
although
the
Ben is 3.9, so Clouden may have backed off a little bit to get this race done.
Yeah.
Dan's been overtaken by Beasley. We've missed that one, and Gray's still behind. Got Mike behind him. Well, the grit that Freeman has over Gray, and you can see that on the braking zones. Oh no, Tibbs!
Oh, Sky!
Oh, Shy!
On the last lap, possibly as well. Oh.
Schundelmeyer gets a drive through, and that is going to hurt his day.
Oh, that is
going to hurt his day. Dan Davis on the back of Beasley. As Clouden will start the final lap of this race. So Schundelmeyer's got to take the penalty now. He can't take it another lap. He has to take it on this one. Dan on the back of Richard Beasley. Ian Gray's got Mike Matthews right behind him.
He's not. He's going to take the time penalty. Oh,
what is the time penalty?
30 seconds, I think.
No, I don't. I think that's only if you have a stop go, you know. I think it becomes a stop go penalty. So time wise. Well, let's wait and see what Tibbs will get. Schundelmeyer did so well until the very end as Insert Coins lost it again. We through turn one.
His Honda just seems to struggle today.
It's that pace, and then, you know, Head's probably gone after a bit of contact. What about Ian Gray and Mike? They're coming over the start line, start their final lap of the race. Mike just can't get past him yet. Richard Beasley still defending from Dan, but it's this man. It's Jamal Clouden, who is going to make it 4 wins in his last 5 races, but it wasn't enough. Race 1, derailed his campaign. But for the final time this season, Jamal Cloudon's going to come to the line and take a race win in a fastest lap. Great drive from Jamal Cloudon. Ben is going to come home for a double podium in P2. That's a fantastic drive. And then Kieran O'Reilly. What a moment for him again. P3 in this race. And we can't really determine P4 until the very end, because Schundelmeyer, who takes it now, it's not going to count. So he's just going to lose even more time up until that line. That's going to hurt him even more. Will Friedman will take P4. Sky Schundelmeyer plus 30 seconds. You was right. Richard Beasley and Dan Davis going side by side. He's gone up the inside as Dan Davis. And will take the place from Richard Beasley. Great fight at the very end. Dan Davis from Richard Beasley. And then we turn our attention back to the Ian Gray, Mike Matthews fight. Gary Leach is probably going to be 10th. I don't believe Gary Leach is going to get ahead of Sky Schundelmeyer. Will Ian Gray and
Sky got 30 seconds.
Yeah.
For not serving it.
Will Ian Gray and Mike Matthews. So you was right, Phil. 30 seconds for Sky Schundelmeyer. Ian Gray 8th, Mike Matthews 11th. We're going to have to wait till the very end for them two. Here comes Gary Leach, 10th place. Provisionally at the moment. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with that of Sky Schundelmeyer. And we just wait for Insert Coin, who's P12. Oh, he's dropped it again.
Has his tyres completely
and
died?
Just looking in the chat here, Friedman will be a bit gutted, as I bet he was having fun trying to get past Sky then. He's going to be so upset, says Tracy. He has had a headset. He has a headset, but very quiet, Lol. He'll have to force him to talk. We'll try our best to get him to talk. We'll jump into the Discord chat in a moment. 90-second penalty if you don't clear your pens before the end of the race. Well, that's only gone to a 30. Dominated. Well done, Cloud, and well done, Dan, on the season win. Yes, Ben, says Chris. What we'll do is, while we wait for Insert Coin, we will head over to that Discord party call, Phil. We are back then with the next part of the action here on the SimPlay Motorsport YouTube channel. What a season that has been. It's been an absolutely fantastic day for all here in the championship. It's been a great day for Cloud and a great day for Ben and O'Reilly as well. Double podiums for them. But more importantly, Phil, before we get into these interviews, Dan Davis, who, because of the excitement of him passing Richard Beasley, is your now 9-time champion here at SimPlay Motorsport. What a season, what a night, Dan Davis. We can't hear Phil at this moment in time. Not sure why Mike has just joined the lobby. Either way. But yeah, what a night for Dan Davis. We are going to speak, though, first of all, to Ben. Let's try and get a word from him. Ben, it's been a season of learning for yourself. Obviously, we managed to get the privilege of meeting you at Thruxton, and that has now turned into race win or podiums here this evening. What a fantastic night for yourself.
Is he muted?
I'm not quite sure. No, he's not muted. Something on his headset. So I assume that's his end. So I tell you what, while we wait for everybody else to get in the interview room, we will speak with your 9-time champion. We will just keep Ben unmuted in case he speaks. We will then speak with your 9-time champion. Dan, not the night you'd have wanted in terms of podiums or race wins, but a 9th championship to your name. Cloudon's pushed you hard all season, but he just didn't have what it took at the very end.
Yeah, first things first, Cloudon would have been a worthy champion, and after that race that I just performed, he should have been champion, to be honest. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure racing Cloudon. He's an absolute star, and I'm pretty sure next season he's going to be the one to watch. I'm making mistakes, I'm making faults, and if it wasn't for the start of the season that I had and the British circuit saving me, I think this season would have gone completely different. But yeah, it's been great. It's been emotional. I've enjoyed it, but I've won it 9 times now. But the man of the season has to go to Clouden. He's put me under pressure right to the very end, and he deserves every championship he can possibly get.
He's got stronger, hasn't he? And you said at the beginning of the year that he's going to be one driver to watch this season. But 9 times a champion, that's 2 more than Schumacher now, and many more than everybody else. But it's another GT3 one, and you'd gone a while without winning anything on ACC. You've now managed to go back to back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess since this new update with these new cars, I think obviously a little bit of racing on PC kind of helps me out a little bit as well. But yeah, I just think these cars, especially this Lamborghini, just needs to suit my driving style. By the end of the season, I detested it, but it's taken me a while to get the hang of ACC. But yeah, it's starting to make an impression on me. I'm starting to like the game, but still prefer project cars.
Still prefer project cars, but it's another championship in the locker. I suppose one you've now got to look forward to is if we get the return of Fury, is maybe another crack at the Porsche Cup cars over him, because I know you're a Porsche lover, and I'm sure that's one you'd probably like to get over Joe.
To be honest, it's the GT4s I'm interested in now. That's one that slipped out of my fingers as well. That went to Joe. I mean, yeah, I'm happy to race in anything and everything. You know me, Matt. I'll give everything a go at least once, and I'll try something crazy and different. I don't like doing what everyone else is doing. So if I do make a return in the Pro, the Lamborghini might be retiring and going up on display. But it's more likely going to happen if it does. But yeah, expect me to be in something either German or possibly Japanese next season if I make a return.
You heard that here, folks. Dan Davis is finally driving a Honda, and that is what we want to hear. But Dan, nonetheless, 9 times a champion. You must be glad now that one's done, because, like you say, Clouden's kept you honest. And if we look at that final championship standings, the gap came down to 28 points. You're probably glad there's not another week of racing, because 28, you start to have to bite your nails a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I was biting my nails coming into this, just knowing if he had one good round, if he got through race 1 cleanly and I didn't, that's back into his favour. But sadly for him, it went the other way around. I managed to stay out of trouble, and at that point, I just knew I just had to finish the second race. Having internet problems as well, so a disconnection could have appeared at some point. But again, I can't say more about Clouden. He's been an absolute star this season, and like I said, a worthy champion when he eventually gets one. And I do think next season he is the man to watch, because he is going to come back with fire. And yeah, I think Clouden's the one to watch next season, but I can't say his praises anymore. He's an absolute brilliant driver, and you can easily go wheel to wheel with him, and it will come, Clouden, it will come.
Well, thank you for the kind words, Dan. Dan Davis here, your 9-time champion. We'll get him on the mute. We'll keep him in the lobby just in case at the end of this one. We normally get a message from all commentators at the end, so we'll keep Dan in the channel just for the end. We will, though, go and speak with Ben very quickly, because I'm not sure what Ben's plans are. It is obviously late at night. Ben, hopefully we can hear you this time, and you can hear us. Double podium in what has been a season that has been learning for yourself, and one that we've been able to see you get better and better each week.
Yeah, well, from the start of the season to barely be getting into the top 10 to the last 4 races being in that top 5 pack, it's definitely been a big improvement.
Massive improvement indeed. Obviously, you managed to pip Dan to a £100 voucher at Thruxton earlier in the season. Surely you'll be looking now to come back and maybe try and pip Dan at a championship.
Yeah, hopefully next season that'll be good and all.
Obviously,
maybe.
Sorry, carry on.
A couple seasons next. Still got some big learning to do, and yeah.
Yeah, joining the BSP team, possibly partnering with Sky Schundelmeyer next season, looks to be a promising one. They're a team that seem to be getting better. Is that something that excites you, being able to be a part of a team and being able to team up with somebody and try and go for not just a drivers but maybe a constructors championship?
Yeah, Sky's and the other Pro-Am boys definitely got some pace. Definitely could try and fight for the constructors and could go for the championship as well.
Well, Ben, we'll let you go. Thank you very much for talking to us tonight, and hopefully see you next season. Congratulations.
Thanks.
was Ben. We can now speak with and offer our commiserations to Jamal Clouden, who was up for this week. He was fired up, but Jamal, it kind of all fell away in race 1.
Yeah, words can't describe it, I'll be honest. Race 1 really got under my skin, started to make silly mistakes towards the end, and yeah, that's where it just pretty much got away from me. I was pretty much testing all week and I knew that I was strong here. Yeah, it's just a shame that it got away from me in race 1.
A shame that it got away from you, but you gave it your absolute all in race 2. Fastest lap, pole position, race win. Another good set of 3 results there. You can't be disappointed with what you've done this season because you've took an 8-time champion all the way till the very end.
Yeah, I'm happy with myself. I mean, considering it's my 2nd season, season 1 was literally a massive learning curve for me. Learning how other people drive, driving styles and stuff. Yeah, coming into this season, I felt quite comfortable. So yeah, I'm happy with the overall result.
And I know that family and friends watch this back, and they're going to be absolutely proud to see what you've achieved here this week. Next season, you're probably going to come back stronger and bigger and better. I've heard rumours of cars and I've heard rumours of teammates. Without giving anything away, it looks an exciting, promising season for you next season.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling confident for next season. With the BOP coming in, tested a few cars, and yeah, I'm definitely coming in with a bang for sure next season.
Jamal, congratulations and commiserations on the championship, and I'm sure you'll come back stronger next season. Jamal Clouden, your runner-up in Pro for season.
Thank you very much. And
Sorry,
just a massive shout out to Dan Davis as well. It's been a pleasure. Again, thanks to him, I learned so much over this season. So yeah, congratulations, bro.
Congratulations to anybody for giving you any tips.
Oh yeah.
Anytime you want tips on how to try and rattle Dan, I'm right here. I'm sure Dan will give you tips on how to rattle me. Either way, Clouden, congratulations, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And we will get Dan and Mike unmuted. Thank you to Yoshi for the £1 donation again, my friend. That is fantastic. Yoshi, should I say, the endurance commentator from Imola. Hopefully he'll be making a return for the Spa 4 hour. We've got Dan and Mike in the chat with us now.
I just want to quickly say that qualifying session blew my mind. Just by the way.
Oh, fantastic! PN mentioned
that just summed
before
up.
You set a lap time. He said, "If Dan does it again here, I'm going to go deaf." Nearly went equally as deaf because you went the exact same lap time. Like, you can't make that up.
That was just brilliant. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm up. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. And then it came across and it was exact. That just summed up mine and Clouden's end to the season. We were that close. But yeah, that was awesome.
It was awesome indeed. We've got Mike Mathews with us as well. We're not going to get into Mike Mathews' night tonight, but what we are going to get into, lads, is this is the end of the season. It's the end of a 5th one on ACC. That's 10 seasons in total. One thing to mention as well, SimPlay Motorsport turns 4 years old on Monday, this Monday coming. It's 4 years of hard work, dedication from everybody in the channel. The drivers for turning up each week, obviously Mike and myself and Dan and Hypertech and Phil for all the admin work and stewarding work that everybody's done, the hours that people put in. It's just another season done. It's another one behind us. But the work doesn't stop, does it, boys? It now carries on preparing for the next season, which comes around in 5 weeks' time.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of work for us to do in a short period to get sort of everything out, any changes we're making. BOP is now on the server, so drivers have got to get used to that, got to get the sign-ups out, so yeah, doesn't stop for us.
Yeah, obviously I'd back up what Mike said, it never stops for us, and I just want to say a bit sad to see less drivers towards the end of the season, but we know obviously summer kicks in and that allows more people to go out and do a few things. I'm hoping winter will be a lot stronger for the driver lineup, but I just want to say a massive thank you to the drivers for their patience in waiting for the stewards' decisions and just general helping out in the community. Just the small little things of letting us know that the server's playing up or anything like that. And obviously a massive thank you to Matt and Mike, who do all the things in the background. They pretty much keep the server up and running. Matt gets all the commentary up and running, and again as well to John Goudet for bringing in people, and PN and a few others as well who do the stewarding as well. If it's not for these guys, we couldn't have this league, we couldn't run it, and we basically put on this show for all you guys. So for the drivers as well, give yourself on a pat on the back, because 5 weeks will come over pretty quickly and the new season will begin very shortly. So make sure you're all prepared and ready and get those hot stints done so you can be a part of SimPlay Motorsport. And if you do want to help us out, then there's a job application in the Discord and you can help us out make the channel bigger and better.
Bigger and better indeed. That, though, is Valencia wrapped up. We're back next season. There is already several tracks selected. The vote closes tomorrow. So if you are a driver who hasn't voted on a circuit you'd like to see on the calendar, get your vote in. By the time we see them, it is in a poll section on the Discord. Get your vote in on that. At the minute, Kyle Army looks like it's leading the way to be on the calendar. Chris with the £10 donation. Thank you very much, Chris. That is much appreciated. Thank you, honestly. You don't know how much these donations mean to us all.
That's Ben's pocket money gone.
At the channel. One we do have, though, we do have Donington, we do have Alton, we do have Snetterton, we do have Bathurst, we do have Suzuka, we do have Misano. One track will be selected by all of the drivers, and then it is a random wheel of name, Nordschleife not included, for the GT3 calendar next year. That is not in any order neither. The Wheel of Names will pick the random order of the calendar. There will be a night race now that the glitches have been fixed. There will be a morning race and an evening race as well. Everything's looking like it's going to line up. For the last time, though, this season, Phil, your final thoughts and your driver of the day and of the season.
Oh, well, what a season. I always said what driver of the season, that's Clouden. The driver of the day, Ben. 2 second places. He finally gets another podium right at the end of the season. Solid little drive. Well, a shout out to O'Reilly though in the Mustang, taking the Ford's first win. Hopefully everyone can hear me on Discord. Yeah, but what a season. Roll on the next one in 5 weeks' time.
Roll on the next one in 5 weeks' time. My driver of the season went to Dan Davis. He had to battle simulator problems, he had to buy a new one, and he had to deal with the pressure of a very, very fast Jamal Clouden. It's hard to not to look at him, but Clouden needs a massive honour and a massive shout out for driver of the season, because he has been absolutely fantastic all year. It's pretty much like 2 seasons in a row now, Phil. We've said this now for Mike and for Clouden. You know, we've pushed a multiple champion hard to the very, very end. That doesn't come easy. I've raced with Dan many a times on many a championship, many a different car category. To beat this guy takes something special. They've came perilously close. My driver of the day, I've got to give it a join. I can't not give it one person. It is Ben and O'Reilly. Both fantastic. Really good day. Great to see Ford take its first win. I'm sure Mike's going to be absolutely loving that fact that it's got a win on the board.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's interesting now. BOP is in play. That is a decision the admins have already taken on board. 5 weeks till the season. Like Dan Davis says, make sure you're in the Discord. If you want to be a part of any jobs or roles, hit that, get on the job application and fill the form out. If you haven't done a hot stint and want to sign up for next season, get a hot stint done. The sign-ups will be out probably within the next week or so. Keep your eyes out on the Discord for that, and please do remember, it is the sign-up sheets you need to fill out. Yes, we do ask you to be on SimGrid, but it is the sign-up sheets we require as a community, so we have your information in case the SimGrid doesn't work. For one last time...
One final thing though, Matt, I forgot, obviously it's not the end of obviously SimPlay in this 5 weeks. There is going to be 2 events that will be happening. Make sure you keep an eye on the Endurance Championship, which will make a return as well at Spa. Yoshi will bring you all the action of that, and a massive thank you for him to stepping in and doing that. We massively appreciate him stepping in. Indeed. And guys, get yourself in the hot stint so you can be a part of the endurance race as well. You do need 2 drivers, and you will need to do a driver swap. You both need to get the hot stints done so you can be a part of it, and make sure you are prepared and ready within a week and confirmed so that we can get the server set up correctly and drivers set up correctly so we have no issues. Once we have 1 or 2 server resets, that is it. We are racing, full stop. Also as well, me and myself and John Goudet are going to arrange to sort out a GT7 Nations Cup event as well. We've got the car we selected. It's the VW Scirocco GR4, which will be the choice of car. Still yet to select circuits, but if you do want to be a part of that, then we will be getting a little sign-up sheet set up so that we can have a bit of fun on the Nations Cup. We'll probably run a Wednesday and a Thursday night just because we can. And there's the 2 events that are coming up. So make sure you head over to Discord, head over to YouTube, do all those wonderful things, and stick with us so you can do them.
As well as check out Design Manchester and Audio Sport, our fantastic sponsors, in the description below. Hit that bell to be notified. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button to like the streams. For one last time, it's been a great racing. It's been a great season here at SimPlay Motorsport. We will see you in a few weeks for the Endurance and for the GT7 Nations Cup, but we'll see you in 5 weeks for it all to start again. And don't forget, the season will run till the week before Christmas, so we'll effectively be in a countdown till Christmas. Dan, that's fantastic. For one last time, though, we will say goodnight. Take care. Have a great rest of the summer, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.